twitch.tv/aDrive. It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, joined with the one and only Strong Jaw Mega Steelix. His name is PokeaimMD. Show some love to my man Joey.
Yo, what's up, guys? You got Pokeaim here. Gonna be a lot of fun doing this. Excited to be here. Dan's house is amazing. I just gotta put that out there. Honestly, his house is clean. But yeah, this will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, we are gonna be breaking down the WBE Season 3 draft right here on this stream. We ask that you guys tweet out the stream, tell your friends what you're watching, let them know. And again, we are gonna have this uploaded to YouTube afterwards on our WBE YouTube channel. Now, there's a handful of things that we want to plug in this little intro sequence here. We're going to talk about some of the rules, kind of how the draft is going to go, a bunch of different things like that. But we do ask that you guys show some love to the WBE YouTube channel. You can type !WBE in the chat to check out the amazing Draft League website we have. And right there, the first league that you're going to see is WBE. Click on that. The YouTube link and the Twitter link are there. And then you can actually see all the coaches, the standings. And I believe my homie Automatic is going to be updating the picks live on the website and showing you guys what everyone has. So we should have some fun with that. You can catch all the coaches there, and again on the WBE YouTube channel is gonna be all that stuff. But I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of our vision for the WBE, and I think it all kind of starts with this right here. Here, Joey, you can hold it. Since Joey's gonna try to win this bad boy right there.
I'm going home with this. Like I don't think I will put this around my waist right now for the entirety of the draft.
He wants to.
I will go home with this. I hope you guys see it. Like it's fire.
It's beautiful. That is the WBE championship belt, which is what the coaches in this league, 28 coaches, are competing for. And the WBE is approaching battle leagues a little bit differently than some of the other leagues. And one of the biggest focuses I wanted to point out for this season of the WBE is the fact that we want to focus on supporting the entire community that's helping us with this project. We have a team of analysts, we have graphic designers, and we have 28 coaches, approximately 50 people working on this project. And what's crazy is we're actually paying our analysts, we are paying our designers.
Everybody's getting bread.
Everyone is gonna be very happy when all is said and done. We're not paying millions over here. We're doing our best, but we're just trying to set the standard for what we believe Draft League should be. So when you guys subscribe to the WBE YouTube channel, when you guys put this draft stream video on autoplay later on today and just let it run in the background, you're helping us monetize our WBE channel so we can help pay our analysts more. It's all about trying to make sure everyone is taken care of, and it's something that I think is really important, and you know, I really think the community is going to be really excited about it too. So shout outs to this belt. The coaches had a buy-in for it, and we actually have a sponsor for WBE, which I'm really excited about. So let's take a look at that. We got PokeNinja, which is my good friend, my business partner. PokeNinja is actually sponsoring the WBE this season, which is amazing. And the way you guys can support that is by checking out our Pixelmon servers. You can type !Pixelmon in the chat. You can go to our Pixelmon servers and you can play on our Pixelmon servers for free. Super duper awesome. You guys are welcome to check it out. The coaches are going to be on it, and we have some really cool special treats for you guys in the coming weeks on our Pixelmon servers, including some potential exclusive Pokemon for the WBE. So if you guys want to play with the various coaches in the league, you want to play some Pixelmon, Pixelmon is alive and well, you can type !Pixelmon in our chat and look in the description in the YouTube video to find out how you can play Pixelmon with your favorite coaches. And again, it's all free if you have a Java version of Minecraft. So some pretty cool stuff there, and again, we're really excited to announce all of this in this massive project that's going to be taking place for the next 3 or 4 months. And we ask that you guys show the love to the various coaches and the various analysts and everything like that that's going down for WBE. What do you think about that, Joey?
Dude, I'm super excited. I can't get over this belt, guys. It's actually it's awesome. It's gonna go around my waist, and I'm gonna walk home with it. Definitely check out the channel. There's some great stuff going on. We got some interviews coming up, obviously, you know, the plays of the week and all that stuff. So I definitely suggest you guys go ahead and subscribe to the WBE channel. I can't put the belt down. This isn't your belt, bro. Nate, this isn't your belt.
Nate's like, give me that belt. No, you're not gonna. We'll see, Nate. We'll see.
I'm holding it like this for the entire stream.
Oh man, so we're really excited about this belt. Obviously, the champion is gonna get this. We're also gonna have some copies of Sword and Shield that the top finalists are gonna get as well. And all the coaches did buy into the league. There was a small buy-in, and then we have our sponsor, PokeNinjas. And then again, we're gonna be paying out our analysts. We're gonna be using any money the YouTube channel makes to help pay out those analysts and just really you know, there's some great content, guys. We got power rankings, we got coach interviews, we got pick'em crews, we got top plays of the week. We got all sorts of great stuff coming out for WBE. So without further ado, let's take a look at this real quick before we jump into everything. This is some nice little stuff. Go check out our website, !WBE Automatics Draft League website. You can click on WBE right there. You can see all the picks as they're going down. You can check out the divisions. You can see what Pokemon are the kill leaders when the season kicks off. You can see all that stuff. Like, it's all on the website. We have a full-blown website thanks to Automatic, which is amazing. You can check us out on Twitter, and you can check us out on YouTube, of course. Those are going to be the primary means of communication for WBE. Now, the other thing I'm going to bring you guys to real quick is, I'll jump back here real quick, is Joey's just rocking this belt right now. We're going to be going through the first half of the draft today. We're going to go through the first 5 rounds. There's 28 coaches, 10 rounds, 280 Pokemon are going to be drafted from the same draft pool. Again, all that stuff is visible on the website, so you can check out where everything is ranking, where their you know, Pokemon are ranked and all that stuff. So let's talk about this real quick. This transition is fire. Thank you, Game Boy Luke, by the way. This is what we're looking at right here for our draft breakdown, okay? So for those who aren't familiar with Draft League Pokemon, the idea behind it is we are all going to be drafting 10 Pokemon in any order we want. Each Pokemon is sectioned off into a tier. Joe, you want to talk a little bit about the tiers?
So the tiers are basically separated as Megas, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5. You also have a set amount of points, and which that you are your free picks, your 4 free picks. And depending on how you actually draft, you can even get like a lower tier Mega, you'll get points back. And this will allow you to potentially draft one of the best teams that you can get. For example, if you get some lower tier Megas and some not so expensive picks, you can end up with a few Tier 2s easily, or an extra Tier 1 as well. So
for sure,
definitely excited to see what people ended up picking here, and super excited to be commentating it live. Big shout out to aDrive, by the way. He flew me out personally in his own private jet just to be here.
He drove.
He drove me. He went to New York to pick me up.
None of this happened.
Dude.
You're losing credibility.
While wearing the belt.
That's it. So yeah, let's talk real quick just to run through the different tiers, as Joey said. Every coach can pick in whatever order they want. Basic Smogon rules, man, Sleep Claws, you know, stuff like that. We have various Pokemon banned. There's no Mega Mawile. Certain Pokemon like Greninja can only be drafted with Torrent. They don't have Battle Bond or Protein. Blaziken is Blaze, not Speed Boost. So there's a couple of specific rules, but I don't want you guys to worry too much about that. I want you guys to sit back, enjoy the draft, and get hyped for the various picks. Make sure you guys tweet at your favorite coaches. Let them know you're excited about the picks they made. Their Twitters are going to be on the screen at each of their picks, and we're going to have various coaches on talking about their picks. And tomorrow, we're going to also have everyone's going to be posting their draft breakdown. So hopefully everyone's going to be ready for that. I know mine will be going up tomorrow.
Yeah, 6 p.m. for me.
So if you guys want to, you know, watch the different draft breakdowns and things like that, you can find them all on everyone's respective YouTube channels. So my man Patters actually has our first pick overall. Are you guys ready to rock with the WBE season draft?
Should we put this over there?
Yeah, I think we're gonna put this belt down.
I might just mess around with that belt the entire time.
Let's look at this one more time. This is what we are competing for right here, the WBE Championship belt. Are you guys ready?
The finest 24-karat gold-plated belt.
Deal, dude. Look at this. You see the Lunala, the Master Ball, and then Solgaleo on the other side.
Here, bro. If you actually turn it around, it says PokeaimMD in gold stitch as well. So you even if I don't win, you go home with just a little bit more of me with you. So
anyway, this is what we were fighting for, the final farewell to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. Let's get it started with the best draft league that you'll ever see, WBE Season 3. Are you ready for that first pick? Get your predictions in the chat. Who is our first pick going to be for Patters? Let me know what you think he's going to take. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, bro.
I'm ready. Let's jump into it. Round 1, our first pick is Tapu Koko. The Newcastle Nido Kings take the massive threat, electric and fairy type Tapu Koko, known for setting up that electric terrain, giving a massive boost to its electric type moves. This thing is a beast.
Honestly, I've heard from a lot of various draft players that Tapu Koko is a top 3 Pokemon in Draft League.
Oh, for sure.
So to see it go turn 1 makes a lot of sense. Honestly, it gives you a great electric type, got some defog, got some support. Awesome for Z moves because we have open Z, right?
Open Z moves, which is something we failed to mention. It is open Z moves. You can use whatever Z you want. One thing I love about Tapu Koko, not only does it have a blistering speed stat, but I think what a lot of people forget is it has access to U-turn. And electric types that can U-turn just give you so much momentum because they don't have to rely on Volt Switch. They don't get blocked by those ground types or those Volt Absorbers. I feel like Tapu Koko, very safe first pick. You can build around it, but unfortunately for Patters, He's got another 50 picks to
Big
go.
Lando.
We got my man Patty Schultz grabbing Landorus. Talk to us about Landorus, Joey, because I know you know.
That is the most broken Pokemon in OU. 40% usage on teams, and it's no different in draft. This Pokemon makes use of every single Z move. Z-Fly, Concept of Crush. Bro, you can use Sludge Wave on this thing if they have Tapu Bulu. This Pokemon is fire. Rocker. A great, absolutely great pick. Honestly, did not expect it to not, like, first 3 picks, it was going to go. No
yeah, you just know. Landorus is so good, and again, with the open Z moves, Z-Fly Landorus is a monster.
Yes.
It normally doesn't have that flying type stab, which is coveted in Draft League format, but in this format, it can run Z-Fly and just wreck. I've seen Smackdown Gravity Landorus.
Yep.
It can do a lot of different things to break those Levitates and those flying type Pokemon, and this thing is a monster. We talk about its defensive sets with Stealth Rock. We talk about the pivoting. Very good pick. We see in vivid color here, the South Texas Sableye grabbing Mew, perhaps the most versatile Pokemon in Draft League format. Mew can do pretty much everything, Joey.
Yeah, honestly, all TMs, all HMs, it doesn't care. This is, honestly, I think one of the most annoying Pokemon to prep for because it can be offensive, it can bulk up, it can be a taunt stall breaker. You don't know what Mew's going to do. Honestly, I'm just sad that I'm pick number 26 because, like, I've seen all these great Pokemon go by.
Yeah, Mew is so good, dude. One of my favorite sets of Mew is actually the Nasty Plot, especially offensive set with, like, Vacuum Wave and stuff. It's just such a threat because you just don't know where it's gonna set up. Here, let's get your beautiful face in the camera.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
He doesn't want to push me
I don't
off.
want to push. This is Dan's stream. I'm so sorry, guys.
You're good, man. It's the WBE stream today, man. So Mew, just a versatile pick, and again, you have to realize some of these coaches with 28 coaches, you know, Vivid isn't going to pick again for a while. A lot of these guys aren't picking again for 50 picks, so you really got to make these picks count. The Tennessee Trubbish, Deathly I Am grabbing Celesteela. We already know how big of a threat this is. Offensive with the Tautomize. It could be just Assault Vest. It could be defensive with Protect Leech Seed, which is insane. Heavy Slam. You don't even have to invest. It's so powerful.
It's such a crazy mod. It has, exactly like you said, Leech Seed. Open Z move for Celesteela.
Oh my God.
Just seems busted, honestly.
It's
Tautomize,
insane.
it has so many options. Again, a top 3 Pokemon. I know we've seen 4 Pokemon, and I've said top 3 for all of them, but this is a top 3
These are all
Pokemon
really
as well.
good mons that got
easily,
taken.
Easily.
For
And,
sure.
and when you have, like Dan said, 50 picks to wait, this is such a great, you can make so much off of this. You can be defensive, you can make an offensive team.
It's just a very versatile mon.
It's so many roles.
So many teams are looking for their Fairy Dragon Steel cores, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing in Draft League format because they match up so well. And Celesteela gives you probably the best Steel type.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat.
Easily.
We're going to see the New York Marauders and Coach Mr. Talent, the Talent Squad, making his Draft League return, grabbing Latias. Now, what do you think about a pick 5 Latias in a draft like this?
So, typically I feel like that would be like, oh, okay, I mean, Latias maybe is like a round 3 type of pick, maybe round 2, but when you have 50 picks going, honestly, I think anything goes, especially if you have if he's early, so he probably had a plan immediately, right? He built his team around Lottie. Now, it has Healing Wish support, it can drop Dracos, of course, Trick. Honestly, it's fine. I personally would have went with Latios, if anything, or even Mega Latios.
There's no Mega Latios or Latias in this
Thank
draft.
you. That's why I would have went with it, because I would have cheated. But Lottie, I mean, it's an interesting tier 1 for sure. Definitely something that I think he probably just didn't expect it to come back to him in 50 turns. That's about it.
And
So
it probably wouldn't have, to be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly.
It's a very good Dragon type, and you mentioned the Healing Wish support.
Yeah.
I love the Calm Mind, and I've used it with Reflect type. I love that. We've got Under the Radar and the Maryland Torterrapins
Zygarde
grabbing
50.
Zygarde 50. This thing doesn't have a lot of switch-ins, man, because of that
Thousand
powerful
Arrows is broken.
1,000 arrows,
It's not
man.
a ground type attack. It's just a broken attack. That's
It's
all
very
it
good.
is. I've used this thing in draft. Plenty of fun. I think the setup opportunities it has with Coil, obviously, Dragon Tail. I've even used like Special with Assault Vest as well to catch things. I like Bulu with Sludge Wave. It is a fantastic Pokemon, really bulky. Doesn't hit so hard, but you don't need to hit hard when you're taking 10 hits from your opponent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's got such natural bulk that it can even take some weak ice attacks.
Exactly.
Obviously, it has that massive ice weakness, but can easily be paired with a Yachi Berry, get that Dragon Dance up,
Yep.
and it's hard to switch into those extreme speeds that are boosted. It's hard to switch into those banded 1,000 arrows. Just a really good all-around Pokemon. And again, we're going to talk about these dragons, these steels, and these fairies. They're going to go quick, and my first pick is going to be the monster is Kiron Black. Now, I know the aDrive Army's been wanting me to draft this thing for a long time. This thing has a massive 170 base attack stat.
Yep.
If it has one drawback, I would say it's the fact that it doesn't have a very good physical ice move, but in an open Z format where you can Sub-Zero Slammer off that free shock,
Yes.
nothing lives that hit.
Honestly, that's the only reason why this Pokemon's probably even allowed in draft. If it had like Ice
Punch
Crash, I
or
don't think
anything,
we let it work. This is such a great pick, dude. I've drafted it first round as well, back in another league that I was in, and Honestly, this Pokemon doesn't even need attack investment to do work. That's the biggest thing about Kyurem Black. It has such a massive attack stat that you can go max HP, defense, anything you want, and this Pokemon can just knock it out. Sub-Zero's Slammer is just going to be broken.
It's so good. It's so good. So I'm a big Kyurem Black fan. I know a lot of people have been wanting me to use it, and we're gonna rock with it. We got Sacred grabbing the Tapu Fini here. Very bulky. Water Fairy. I gotta say, I've used Primarina in the past, and I just love that type combination. It's so spammable to just click Hydro Pump Scald or Moonblast is very, very nice. Tapu Fini, a massive threat because of the ability setting up that terrain, allowing it to dodge any sort of status moves, which is massive, especially when you pair it with Calm Mind.
Yeah.
I think its lack of recovery is only the one big downside, but it can run Z-Haze, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the Misty Terrain is really cool. I think this is I think Tapus were gonna go round 1 no matter what. Even Fini might be seen as one of the lesser Tapus that you can do stuff with, just because it doesn't have the boost from its actual terrain.
Yeah.
So it's still a great pick overall. A fantastic Dragon answer. And I think this Pokemon came out just because we saw Kyurem Black as well as Latias. I do want to mention that I meant that Kyurem Black would not be OU on this list, even Ubers itself in the tier.
We got Duncan Can't Die grabbing Jirachi. I know Joey knows a lot about Jirachi. This is a great steel type Pokemon, man. Very versatile.
Very easily. Wish support, Healing Wish 2, Trick. You can do whatever you want. Calm Mind, physical, special. We don't have Omni boosting allowed in this draft, so we're not going to be seeing Z Helping Hands or Z Celebrate, whichever one Jirachi actually ends up getting. But this thing has a plethora of attacks, and definitely another one of those. It's basically a Mew, in my opinion. It's another.
It's
Mew.
very versatile.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say that I feel like when I drafted Jirachi, I felt like I kind of had to use it in a defensive role most of the time. It's so good at that. It's same with Mew, right? They both can really fall into that just defensive, blanket
role
check. Which doesn't do it justice. It's gonna be interesting to see how Duncan utilizes Jirachi this season, because it does have a lot of potential sets it can run. But it's so easy to just fall into the trap of, oh, I'm just gonna run defensive with Wish support, or I'm just gonna run Rocks, or I'm just gonna run Scarf, because it can do way more than that. Jodor and the Seattle Sea Kings grabbing Mega Venusaur, a very bulky grass and poison type, and one of my favorite megas to use. I love the fact that it gets recovery through Leech Seed and Synthesis, but it also gets, a lot of coverage moves, man. Earthquake, Knockoff, it can do a lot of different things.
Thick Fat is really nice too, because it means you can't deal with this grass type like you typically would with most other grass types, like Pokemon like Heatran, for instance. And again, you already mentioned Earthquake. Knockoff is great. Leech Seed is going to be really annoying for people to deal with, and it's just so bulky.
It's very difficult to take
honestly,
down.
I don't think most people will take it down in one move at all.
Yeah, you need a really powerful flying or psychic type Pokemon to take it down, and all Jodor needs is a good steel type to pair with that, and you really blanket check that weakness and really put yourself in a good spot with Venusaur. So it's definitely a really easy mon to build around. We talked a little bit about the Fairy Dragon Steel cores for those who are new. Fire, Water, Grass is another kind of trio that people try to put together. But big surprise here, our reigning champion Wolf Glick and the Milwaukee Bewares, known for his world championship in Pokemon VGC. He's going to grab Tornadus Therian form, a Pokemon that he's used pretty extensively in the past. He actually won the championship in our last season with that Tornadus. He beat me with it. He hit a lot of Hurricanes.
I think this is such a great Pokemon for Wolf, because the way he plays, it's definitely around positioning, and Tornadus is just one of those Pokemon that just gives you so much positioning, because you bring it in to take a hit, it scares out its opponent, and it U-turns out at the same time.
Yep,
and
it gets itself back.
Exactly.
It gets itself right back.
Fantastic pick. Honestly, this is Wolf's Pokemon. For sure.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Beware, this would be, I think he'd be with the Milwaukee Tornado. I think it is.
Yeah, and you talk about the ability to U-turn around, but one of the things that I loved about it, and I just recently used it in a league myself, is just the fact that it can do a lot more than just U-turn too. Like it can break, it can really do a lot of things. Yeah. We got Lord Envy himself grabbing Victini, an old friend of mine. I gotta say, I love me some Victini, man. This is absolutely my favorite Pokemon to ever use in Draft League format. And the reason being is Victini is just so powerful in the fact that it has that massive 180 base power V-Create, paired often with a Choice Band or a Life Orb. It's very difficult to switch into those attacks simply because of that, but it also can run some other cool options like Bolt Strike.
Trick Room.
Yeah, Trick Room. I've run Trick Room V-Create. Weakness Policy, it's got good natural bulk, and it's a great Scarfer, and it can also be special. You can run like Blue Flare and Energy Ball and Thunder and things like that, and its ability boosting its accuracy by 10% is pretty good when you run things like Focus Blast and Thunder, and it's just a very powerful Pokemon in general. So when you have someone like Envy, who's obviously very adept at Draft League format, you're gonna give him this Pokemon, which is pretty strong. But we got Zeraora, tier 2 actually. I think our first tier 2 going for the Gators. What do you think about this tier 2 early pick here?
Honestly, I think a fast electric type is fantastic in draft, especially one like Zeraora, which can just run something like Grass Knot to get through ground types. And I mean, with Pokemon like Tapu Koko, Celesteela, you know, even Kyurem Black being picked, you probably want something that's faster, can deal with them, has access to close combat as well.
Yep.
So I do agree with the Zero Aura pick. I know it's something that Gator has used a few times and to success. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to see him actually use it. And I just think its speed tier is going to be the biggest thing because then
Oh my
you don't
God,
need
it's so fast.
You don't need investment. Like, this is basically it's a mega speed wise, right? It's
Yeah.
a mega speed wise. So definitely a solid pick by It's Gator himself. YouTube.com/itsgator, by the way. Not
Yeah,
playing, my
and
friend.
you really gotta also keep in mind, guys, with 28 teams, man, a lot of things are gonna go, and they're gonna go quick. And we've got Leo, 6-foot hacks, and the Durham Dredagrons grabbing Mega Lopunny, one of the most fearsome Mega evolutions in the format. We're talking about speed, right?
Yeah.
135 base speed, just a very fast Pokemon. But its real kind of key to success is the fact that it has that scrappy ability,
Yes.
allowing it to hit pretty much everything in the format, at least neutrally, and it's very difficult to switch in those high jump
Yeah,
kicks.
normal fighting, excellent pick on Leo's part. Has a great coverage too. Fire punch, ice punch. You know, it has the elemental punches, obviously. This was actually one of my picks that I had in mind. This or another Mega potentially. So it's really cool that Leo picked it up. I do think that Lopunny is just one of the most consistent Megas in the thing, as well as the fact that Fake Out is just good for chipping, quick
It's very
attack
good.
as well.
Yep.
So really tough to switch into. You basically covered everything I would have with Mega Lopunny as well.
Yeah, I also want to just mention the utility sets. You can also run like Baton Pass and Cosmic Power and some funny stuff.
Exactly.
But we got Pokemon trainer Steve. Big shouts to him. Magnitude. He is the creator of Draft League format. He's gonna grab
That's the
Clefable.
OG. That is the OG. Clef is definitely one of the best fairies in my opinion, just because of its ability to do whatever it wants. It has such a versatile move pool, and part of that is because it was a normal type before it became a fairy type, right? But it can be a combine, sweeper, wish support, healing wish support as well. Knockoff is great. Thunder Wave as well for that support coming off. And again, just with the ability to run combine, flamethrower, ice beam, thunderbolt, you don't even need moonblast if you
Yep.
honestly don't need it in there.
I love the fact that it's a rocker too,
Yeah.
and it shuts down setup sweepers.
Yep.
Two really good abilities in Unaware and
Yes.
Magic Guard. So really good stuff. I will say its base stats leave a little bit to be desired. It's not the bulkiest
Yes.
thing because of its natural stats, but because of that ability, because of its pure fairy typing, it has a lot of advantages
Yes.
there. K-Cray making a return back to Draft League format, gonna grab Garchomp in Tier 1. Garchomp often regarded as being better than its Mega Evolution because of that speed stat. This Pokemon, we talk about versatility, and I think Garchomp really hits the nail on the head. It's a great Choice Scarfer. It's a great, just mixed offensive threat. You can run Fire Blast on
Yeah.
it to catch those Ferrothorns. It can run Z Sandstorm, which is a really cool option.
And nice evasion and
yeah,
speed
it
boost.
can
I
do
like
some
that.
cool stuff, and it's a really good setup mon, and I really like Garchomp. I think it's just a very versatile Pokemon, and again, I can't harp on it enough. Those dragons, those fairies, those steels, they're gonna go quick.
Agreed. And honestly, its speed tier is, like you said, great. I think in Open Z, fantastic Pokemon because it has a great physical and special move pool. So its ability to break through its counters with the fact that it's firing off 180 base power attacks at least
very
once
powerful.
is going to make it really nice. Latios coming out for the Toronto Togekiss from the heated mode. Now, this is definitely something I expected to go before Latios,
Yeah.
honestly, just because of its offensive presence and ability to break through things with its Z moves. Like Hydro Vortex will probably help it break through Tyranitar or not
I also love a Memento.
Exactly.
I think that's
a
the big
thing.
one. I
That's
think
a big one.
I not to bash the earlier Latios pick from Drew, but I think Latios, like you mentioned, it's got a little bit more power. You can almost make up for the bulk in your spread.
Yes.
And it also can run that Dragon Dance set a little bit better
Yes.
because of its physical attack. It's got Earthquake, it's got a better physical stat. But when we talk about Open Z, you think of things like Z Memento, which can turn the tide of a battle, being able to lower your opponent's stats, switch something in, and heal them up, and really support a team. So not only do you have this massive breaker or setup threat in Latios that can do a lot of those other things, but it can also, really support a team there. So pretty crazy pick. We got the Miami Don fans and Coach Kale grabbing Pelipper in round one.
He basically said, I'm getting rain and you can't do anything about it. I don't care. You can wait 50 picks to pick up Mega Swampert next time if you want. I'll get whatever else I want at the end of the day. So I think Pelipper is definitely like him just saying, yeah, rain is here. I think Pelipper is a fantastic rain setter. Obviously, U-turn, defog, reliable recovery, and roost. This Pokemon is good, okay? And it has Hurricane too to break through grass types as well. I don't think it's going to be doing anything too fancy in terms of like flashy or anything like that.
Yeah.
You might see a random Specs or Scarf Pelipper coming through, but it's going to set up the rain and definitely does, it tells us what he wants as we keep going.
And I think that was a smart pick, because generally only one team is going to grab Rain.
Yes.
And by grabbing it now, I can tell you, if I'd actually said this, if I didn't have the 7th pick, I was going to grab Rain if I had a later pick.
Yeah.
But I couldn't justify grabbing Pelipper 7th when everything else was there. But we see Feint Attacks and the Atlanta Umbreons drafting another Pokemon that they've used in the past, Mega Gardevoir, a powerful wall breaker. Those Pixelate Hyper Voices are very difficult to switch into, not to mention the combination of Fairy and Psychic is just so powerful.
Yeah, it is, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense too. We've seen a lot of dragons that have gone by, so Mega Gardevoir can actually deal with a bunch of them besides maybe like a specific Z move, Garchomp. But besides that, Mega Gardevoir, great threat. Taunt as well. It can be a stall breaker with that wish support too. Trick Room, like
Love the
you
Trick
said.
Room.
It has a lot of support options, honestly, and I think it's a fantastic pick too. I love that it's something he's used before as well, so he's definitely familiar with it. So he knew what he wanted going in, and I think in this draft, where like you said, 50 picks between, my next pick. You definitely want what you want early. This is the round to get exactly what you want for your team, because nothing else is, basically guaranteed.
Yeah.
We do have Suicune coming up, my favorite Pokemon from Iron Buff, and this is such an annoying Pokemon on Wi-Fi. I honestly think this should not be allowed on Wi-Fi, just because of the ability to basically Calm Mind, Protect, Stall your opponent. It's a fantastic water type as well. I think it's one of the better water types in Tier 2. And again, I'm a big fan of getting Fire, Water, Grass as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Draft.
For sure. And one of the things is a little early on the Suicune grabbing it Tier 2, but again, he knows he's got another pick coming up in about 15-20 picks, so really solid there. I also want to mention, guys, a lot of people are asking, !WBE in the chat. We have a full-blown website, guys, where you can actually see the picks live and the tiers, everything there, the divisions, all that good stuff. Elliott and the Chicago Cubs shoes, I love this pick. So, first of all, I want to talk about our baton pass rules really quickly. You can pass speed, you can pass other stats, you can't pass the two together.
Yeah.
So, Scolipede can speed pass, it just can't Swords Dance and then speed pass, but it can Swords Dance with Poison Point and pass the Swords Dance. Scolipede is a monster, dude.
Yes.
First of all, with Z moves, that's what is it called? The Spin Out, Savage Spin Out. That is a
Incredibly
very powerful attack. I love it with Life Orb, dude. Rock Slide, Earthquake, Poison Jab, Fairy Killer, Speed Boost is wonderful. I love Scolipede.
It's tough to revenge.
Spikes and T-Spikes,
yes,
dude.
Yes, absolutely. And Endeavor as well to just
Oh
wrap
my
it up.
god, it's a good
and
Pokemon.
It's a fantastic Pokemon. We've actually seen recently an offensive Scolipede put in work versus one of our coaches in the chat. I'm sorry, MD, I had to but it is a fantastic Pokemon, a great pick. Definitely something that was on my radar as well. And with our baton pass rule, I think it's going to be
It's very good.
So well.
It's very good.
Supports the entire team.
Numnext is coming back to the Draft League format with Zapdos. I love Zapdos. We talked about Tapu Koko and electric types that can U-turn. There's only a handful of them that are really ranked up there, like Thundurus and stuff. But Zapdos is just such a well-rounded Pokemon in the sense that static is phenomenal.
Oh my
it
gosh.
can roost, it can remove hazards, and its typing just really allows it a lot of switch-ins.
Yeah, if you're a physical Pokemon that try to deal with Zapdos, honestly, you might as well try and Field Trice, because like the fact that it has Discharge and Static, like it's so annoying. It has Heat Wave as well. Its biggest drawback, obviously, is it has to use a hidden power. But I mean, with Roost, with pressure as well, and the fact that it doesn't have to care about what wants to come in on it. Why does he sound so much like Joey Pokeaim? Zapdos is a fantastic pick, and it's definitely something Nexus has used too. So excited to see him use it. Speaking of fantastic picks with versatility, I think Hydreigon is just. Hydreigon's like one of those Pokemon that you think about it because of its offensive presence, but its resistances are really up there.
Oh yeah, and you throw in the Levitate, so it's got that immunity to ground type moves. Taunt Roost is like a real thing for this.
Yes.
You can definitely run that. And again, we talk about Z moves, and Hydreigon's a Pokemon that really benefits from Z moves. Grabbing it in Tier 2, very highly valued Tier 2 pick, but just running like Darkinium Z or running Fire Blast or even Corkscrew Crash for those fairy types. Not to mention its pivoting ability with U-turn. That's also incredibly valuable for what Hydreigon can do. So there's a lot of possibilities for the Noibats in grabbing Hydreigon. And again, we talk about the value grabbing a Tier 2 this early. Snagging one of the best, Z-move users, one of the best dragons in Tier 2, grabbing it early. Very nice. Game Boy League, you're right, guys. Got the Mega Scissor here. I love Mega Scissor, man. One of the things that really stands out to me about Mega Scissor is the fact that it has such incredible bulk that Hidden Power Fire often doesn't even knock it out.
Yes, for sure. It's one of those Pokemon. It's actually bulkier than Skarmory, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy, because if this thing had spikes, oh my gosh, we see it everywhere. But U-turn momentum, a great move pull, superpower, pursuit, knockoff, Swords Dance, obviously. Curse as well is definitely something I think is undervalued. I haven't seen that as much in draft. I've seen more Swords Dance, but its ability, it can set up. This Pokemon can probably take a Flare Blitz if it's cursed like once or twice.
It's
definitely.
crazy. It's so bulky.
Oh, so bulky, honestly.
It's so bulky, and what I've found is it can be used in many roles, but it really shines in that cleaner role.
Yeah.
Where you set up those hazards, you chip down the team with a breaker, and then you send in Scissor against something that can't touch it. You set up a Swords Dance, and then it's over because Bullet Punch is going to wreck things. And this thing gets wrecked by Bullet Punch, but it's a very good pick. Mega Deontay coming off here for the New Orleans Pelicans Draft League veteran PokeaimMD, or John is going to take this. And again, I can't emphasize enough, the website, guys, !WBE. You can check out all the coaches, but their Twitters are up there right now. I encourage you to go follow them. Mega Deontay is a monster. I love the rock polish opportunities. I love the mixed set that it can run with Moonblast and its signature move Diamond Storm, which has a 50% chance to double its defense.
Yeah, that's why. Honestly, and the big thing, Magic Bounce. Magic Bounce is huge. We do have, you have to auto Mega, but that doesn't stop Deontay. You can go for Protect and stop things. Deontay, great cleaner. I think that John has used this a few times, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong.
He might, yeah.
I might be a little bit wrong on that, so forgive me, John. But fantastic Pokemon. I've seen it do so much in draft, and it has so many options too. Now, speaking of Pokemon with a lot of options, I don't want to hype up this next pick here because, you know, I don't know who this guy is. PokeaimMD. He does have a doctorate, by the way, but Mega Gallade is a fantastic Pokemon, okay? It has such a great move pool, and like I did talk about earlier, I was debating between this and Mega Lopunny, but Mega Lopunny was obviously taken from me, so Mega Gallade doesn't even need to invest in attack. Wife, by the way, yeah, I am wearing the ring, thank you.
I gotta say, talking about Gallade, one thing I love about it is I love the bulk up set.
Yes.
I also love the fact that it's got priority with the Shadow Sneak.
Yeah.
I feel like that is something pretty underrated, and its typing allows it to set up pretty effectively. And it's got good natural bulk, and you can also run things like Will-O-Wisp.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
It's got some surprising options in terms of its move pool. It's got a great speed tier.
Fast, yeah.
It's pretty
super
fast, and it's just a good overall Pokemon. I'm a big fan of this pick from Old Man Sup here. The Pittsburgh Piratica is one of the OG Draft League guys, grabbing Mega Charizard X, and if you can keep those hazards off the field, this thing is very difficult to deal with.
Yes, for sure. I think a lot of people also disregard. It has such a great special attack stat as well. If I'm not mistaken, it's base 130.
Yeah, 130 both.
Yeah, so Mega Charizard X, I think, is one of those Pokemon that is really easy for it to beat its counters, right? Because of either setup in Swords Dance or even Belly Drum, and obviously Dragon Dance is the big one that comes to mind. You can go special. Will-O-Wisp as well. It's really, really bulky. Tangzard X is a legitimate thing, and the fact that you do have Tough Claws, so you don't really have to worry too much about attack investment, is going to be big. Has a decent speed tier as well at base 100, so making it a little bit harder to revenge kill too, unless you are running something a little bit faster than
It's so scary, dude. Just prepping for this thing, you have to just have automatically one or two things that can deal with a +1 Charizard, because it's so scary. And we got Cybertron, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, gonna pick at number 28, grabbing Kartana as his first pick, and he's got the wheel. What do you think about this Kartana pick?
So this is definitely a Pokemon that Aaron is super familiar with, both in VGC and in Draft League as well. Kartana, I think, makes the best use of Z moves, in my opinion, because of its ability to, basically Z Giga Impact is actually a thing in OU.
I used it against the Zapdos.
It deals with Tornadus and it deals with Zapdos, the same two Pokemon. So Kartana has that, it has Dark MZ, it has Corkscrew Crash, it has Leaf Blade, as well as Z Leaf Blade as well. So it's been great, and I think that's a great pick to actually round out round one of the draft. Again, that Pokemon is also such a great revenge killer and has Beast Boost too, which makes it scary.
And one thing I love about Kartana in terms of really cool sets is the minus attack Kartana, that
Kartana,
speed
19
boost.
speed of it,
yeah. So you run a low speed IV on the Kartana and you run max speed and you allow it actually to get a speed boost if it knocks something out instead of the attack boost, which is pretty crazy. This is our round one recap. I want to take a moment just to thank Bill Standish and a lot of other people. I want to see if I can pull it up real quick. I know that there was a post about it earlier. I just want to take a second and just shout everyone out by name because I do think it's important. Levenant, Frieslander, Cressel Key, Itsock, Aaron, and Bill Standish, and anyone else who worked on the slides and everything. Thank you guys for being a part of the WBE this season. My man Uzi Gunner made our trailer. A lot of amazing people working on this project, guys. So when I say to support the WBE, I mean it, because you're not supporting me, you're not supporting Joey, you're supporting about 50 people who are trying to make this project happen. So you guys are all helping to make this massive undertaking, happen. So this is our round one. Kind of looking at our round one here. Was there anything that stood out to you that you think maybe wasn't the best round one pick?
If I'm going through it, it's really hard to say that this round one pick sucks because you have to wait 50 picks between next one. The only people who are basically guaranteed are the people at the end, right? And then when the round goes again, the people at that end as well. So if I'm good with basically the back end, a lot of the draft. Again, that Latias pick did seem like it went a little bit early, but just based on what was picked as well, I feel like Latias might have went, like had Dragon, it could have been picked over Zapdos, things like that. Pelipper is definitely one that stands out though to me from Kale, but that's also him saying I'm doing Rain. I know you also drafted Politoed at one point.
I did
for round
in a tier 3 and below.
Exactly.
When you commit to something like Rain that early, it actually, it's a really cool strategy, especially in a massive league like this, because a lot of those Pokemon that are Rain centric won't get touched by other teams.
Exactly.
So you can really, you almost are drafting in a vacuum.
Exactly.
Because you can almost say, okay, no one's really gonna draft Kingdra, no one's gonna really draft Ludicolo,
yeah.
No one's gonna take probably Mega Swampert at this point.
Exactly.
So you have this open kind of avenue to really plan your draft out and say, okay, I have my my Pelipper, maybe I'll grab Scizor next. Maybe I'll grab Goodra next.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll grab some of these off kind of Rain complementary Pokemon
that
are gonna work, because I know those Rain Pokemon like the Swamperts and the Kingdras that I'm gonna need, they're gonna sit there for a few rounds.
Yeah.
So it really gives you a massive opportunity to draft kind of around everyone else, which I think is pretty cool. So pretty interesting round 1 here. We got some really big threats, some awesome picks here, and this is a snake format. So Cybertron's actually gonna be going again, which is pretty cool there. One thing I want to talk about really quickly before we jump into round 2, guys, I got to shout out my homie PokeaimNinjas. The PokeaimNinjas Pixelmon servers is a place that you can play with the coaches and all your friends. It's free to play. !Pixelmon in the chat, or check the description on the YouTube video to check out our Pixelmon servers. You can play on the Eterna region, which is my region. You also have the Club and Diamond regions. 3 awesome opportunities. You can challenge gyms. You can do all sorts of stuff. And PokeaimNinja is sponsoring the WBE this season. So you checking out those Pixelmon servers helps us fuel the WBE and keep rocking further and further to what we have, kind of planned in the future. So big shouts to our friends PokeaimNinja and the PokeaimNinja servers for making this happen. I think we're pretty much ready to rock in round 2, but before we jump into that, I just want to plug one more time our website, guys. !WBE in the chat. I'm actually on the website right now. I'm going to click the link myself, actually, and I'm going to show you guys just real quick. On my end, if I'm trying to navigate this website, you go to the WBE website on Draft League. You're going to click the WBE, the first thing that pops up. There's also a follow on Twitter and a subscribe on YouTube button. You can head right there to the WBE website, and you can see the coaches, the different sword division, the shield division, and then you can click on the teams. I'll click on the Bronx Beartix right now, and I can see he's got Mega Gallade. I can see Mega Gallade has priority.
Tells you everything about my Mega Gallade too as well.
The schedule's there. You can see that he's playing Pokemon and the New Orleans Pelipers.
This is the cheat sheet to draft, guys. Honestly, go ahead and pick it up.
Everything's right there. I'll click on the South Texas Sableye next, and you can see everything is right there. You can check out all of his information, his Twitter, his showdown name. Everything's there. Mew, its ability, its default, everything is all right there on our website. So big shout out to my man Automatic, who runs the Draft League website and manages all this, and you can set up your own Draft League there as well. So I know you guys couldn't see what I was looking at, but you guys can explore the website yourself. !WBE in the chat. Joey, I think it's about time that we jump into round 2. We got 28 awesome picks lined up here for round 2. Ready to rock?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Fancy transition. Let's go. Cybertron Zang kicks us off after picking Kartana, and he's gonna grab Mamoswine.
Big Mamo. I know Gator was so upset about this personally. That's his baby. But honestly, this is also another Pokemon that Aaron has used before to success. So I know that Aaron is definitely using a Pokemon he's familiar with, and I think that's fine for him as well. Definitely transitioning from VGC to singles. It does take some time. Wolf has done it amazingly, and I think Aaron is starting to really do well as well in draft. I've been watching a lot of what he's been doing. Mamoswine does have an extra M, but it's there because Mamoswine is thick. So that is why Mamoswine is right there. Now, Mamo, fantastic Pokemon, priority, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, and ice type attacks
it's
are
so good.
So hard.
Such a good combination, and we don't want to undersell. I actually, against Gator, I think it was, I brought a max special attack Mamoswine with Freeze Dry, and I know it sounds crazy, but it's actually a thing you can do. Old Man Sub is going to grab Rotom Wash. I love this pairing, dude. Rotom Wash and Mega Charizard X combined together. We talk about fire, water, grass. This is a great start. Having Defog on that Rotom, allowing him to clear those hazards for that Mega Charizard. And I love the Volt Switch pivoting for Mega Charizard to let that
ground immunity as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Thunder Wave as well as Will-O-Wisp support. Honestly, I think that if he didn't pick that up and nobody else got it, I could see Aaron picking up this Pokemon too. Oh, yeah. If we'll be real. But the Levitate is going to be huge for Mega Charizard X because, like we said, there is you have to Mega immediately, right, with your Pokemon. So he can't dance around Earthquake by staying a regular Charizard. If he stays in, he has to Mega. So Rotom definitely does that. Rotom's also A really good Z move user too. You guys don't know, you might not know too much about its move pool, but it has options like Signal Beam for Pokemon, maybe like Celebi or Tangrowth as well. And you know, just has some nice little things going on. Oh my gosh, is this a great pick or what? No.
Tell us about the first tier 3 Crocodile, grabbing it early here.
So the way I saw it, as I've mentioned, there's 50 picks between this and my next pick. So I wanted my tier 3 right now because I didn't think Crocodile would make it back to me, right? We're already getting into tier 2. Some people have already picked their tier 2. And this gives me a Pursuit Trapper, Stealth Rock, 2 great abilities, 3 great abilities if I count Anger Point. You know, I'm trying to crit me, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get a little +6 right here, and I'll sweep you right there. But I have Moxie and Intimidate coming down. We saw some great Electro types as well. And I think that the fact that Crook was in tier 3 really made it something that I wanted to get. Like, I think tier 3 is kind of fair for Crook, but I have seen some people put it in tier 2. So I was like, let me snatch this boy up real quick.
It's really good. It's really good. It's a great Z move user.
Yeah.
And I love just the fact that it can be Intimidate. It can set up rocks. It could also have that Moxie. Very good stuff here. This is an incredible pairing, by the way.
Intimidate and Moxie right here,
Dude,
right back to back, bro.
We got Salamence and the New Orleans Pelipper's pairing a Salamence with a Mega Deontay, and I feel like Salamence has kind of had a little bit of a fall from grace. I feel like it was often regarded as being just this insanely powerful Dragon-type Pokemon, and for some reason it's kind of fallen back a little bit, but in Draft League, this thing cannot be slept on. And one thing I want to speak to, because I think you guys probably understand the Dragon Dance set, is its special move pool. Hydro Pump.
Yes.
Fire Blast.
Yes.
Draco Meteor.
Ooh, Draco.
I love the mixed sets with like Life Orb, Draco Meteor, and then physical attacks.
Yep.
There's a lot of things you can do with this thing, and sitting at base 100 with the option to set up, and supported team too. Let's not forget, I think it gets Wish.
It does get Wish.
It's got Roost to help itself,
recovery,
and you can remove hazards.
Exactly, and buffering, yeah. It's a fantastic Pokemon both on the physical, special side, support side as well. Pairs amazingly with Mega Deontay and gives him a ground immunity too. Now, speaking of a Pokemon that I think is going to take
this thing is
huge
insane.
advantage, bro.
Insane.
You used it recently.
I did. So I used it pre-Move Tutor, and now it's way better. So Necrozma, since Move Tutors, has access to Photon Geyser, which is an incredibly powerful special attack that just wrecks through teams and ignores abilities. So Mimikyu cannot switch into it.
Exactly.
Disguise gets ignored, but it also got so many Move Tutors, Knockoff and Earth Power.
Heat Wave.
Dude, its Prism Armor ability allows it to take super effective hits, and when paired with a Weakness Policy and Autotomize, it can just win. It can just win right there because it's so powerful.
Even on the slower side with Trick Room too, I've used Trick Room Z Solar Beam, I think, versus a Rain Team. I think I played.
You can do some really cool things, and also can't sleep on the fact that it's just a good defensive Pokemon. It can set up Stealth Rock and heal itself up and support the team, and it's just such a good Pokemon. Honestly, I could have seen it going round 1 because I really think it's that good. The New York Noibat's going to grab another tier 2, stacking up those tier 2s, kind of grabbing them early.
Saving his points.
With Sylveon, we've actually seen Sylveon way back in the day go round 1, number 1. Remember JYT Gamer, bro, grabbing that Sylveon. But this thing's still really good, man. It got the Pixelate nerf kind of hurt it a little bit, but I think a lot can be said about it just being a very good, bulky, team-supporting fairy. But I also love the choice spec sets.
Yep, works really well with Hydreigon. It looks like he's going for that Fairy Dragon Steel Core. I don't know what his next pick is going to be, but does look like he's going that way. It pairs super well, obviously being immune to Dragon, not caring about the fighting type attacks that are coming out as well. Pixelate is so good. I've actually ran Hyper Beam recently too. It's
quick
just
attack,
fun.
baby.
It's just fun. Exactly. First quick attack as well is a legitimate option. This is a Pokemon that can do something. Plus, it's such a cute Pokemon to look at on Wi-Fi. Honestly, I think that's a big thing to take away from that. Speaking of a Pokemon, no, I don't want to look at this thing on Wi-Fi. This is not cute, bro. Them knees.
Is that a beak or I don't know what's going on with it. This thing is wild, dude. Let me talk about Pokemon that you can't switch into. Mega Medicham.
Yeah.
Pure power, doubling that attack stat is absurd, and you've got priority with it with Fake Out and Bullet Punch. If this thing got Mach Punch,
oh my gosh,
Ubers, dude, like for real though.
I used a Mach Punch variant recently because they have this tier on Showdown that allows you to like inherit
Ubers.
certain things. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy that
it doesn't get Mach Punch though, but Bullet Punch Fake Out is pretty good.
It's still really good.
Great
it's
coverage.
So
And the thing is with Mega Medicham is you almost force people to run Protect
Always.
because High Jump Kick doesn't have a switch in, so a lot of people have to run it, and then
it can even just run Drain Punch too. That's the big thing as well. Like you don't, when you see what you're fighting, like it doesn't matter. This thing has the coverage too.
Ooh.
Dude, you love this Pokemon.
This is one of my favorites, man. I'm a big Alolan Ninetales fan. I know not everyone agrees with me, but I personally think it can be top 10 in Draft League format, and I know that's a crazy statement to make, but what Ninetales does is it has a 100% accurate Blizzard.
Yes.
And Ice-type moves are very difficult to switch into, especially from fast Pokemon. It also has Freeze Dry, which is the best Ice-type attack in the game, and one of the best offensive moves in the game, being able to hit those water types super effectively. But it gets the best team support move in the game in Aurora Veil.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
8 turns of Aurora Veil is insane.
Absolutely.
It is insane. you give an opportunity for Scolipede to set up a Swords Dance, and it can just win right there.
He's building actual, like, these are actual teams that I might have fought, like, early in Sun and Moon. Like, legitimately, one thing I definitely think about this is when I thought about this Pokemon a lot, and this is when I was watching your stuff, I was like, okay, he's just gonna use Aurora Veil every week. But I just see you putting in work with Specs and Scarf every single time.
Yep.
So super excited about that.
Yeah, Life Orb Nasty Plot is something I really like about it. A lot of things you can do with that. I love this pick. Mega Altaria, again, another Pokemon that's kind of fallen on the ranking list, but it's so good in Draft League format. It's got such good natural bulk, and I want to speak to, obviously, the Dragon Dance set, but it can be, if you're creative with Altaria, you can do a lot of things. Cotton Guard.
Yeah.
The special set with Agility.
Yeah.
Hyper Voice, Fire Blast, Agility is a really cool set. And just team support in general. You can run Roost, you can Heal Bell, you can, I've actually run Body Slam on it a few times because you get that Pixelate Body Slam that can paralyze. It can do a lot of different things, and pairing it with Suicune, that's some serious natural bulk.
That's some beauty, and as well as the fact that they work so well together, right? Altaria weak to Ice, and then you have Suicune right there taking
Poison, or Steel rather, and Suicune's gonna cover those.
Exactly.
This is another Pokemon that is very, very difficult to switch into. Sacred Fire being just such a spammable attack.
Yeah.
We talk about easy Pokemon to use in Draft League, and I feel like Entei falls into that, and you can just run Choice Band, Sacred Fire.
Yeah, it's no drawback, unless you're using like Heat Rain or another Flash Fire.
50% chance to burn, man, is massive.
Yes, exactly. I think a thing that people might have overlooked is that for a time, we thought that you could only run Adamant Entei with Sacred Fire, right, and Extreme Speed, but it turns out, because Entei recently got Sacred Fire
as a level 1, right?
Level up, you can run a Jolly Entei with that, unless you're not, obviously you still have to run Extreme Speed, you have to go Adamant, but Entei being able to do that, and also the Subcom Mine option with Pressure and Lava Plume sounds really
I remember facing, I think it was Gym Leader Geo brought a special Eruption set at one point, and things like that in Draft League can really mess you up, and that's why Draft League, in my opinion, is the best format for battling, because you never know what you're going to run into. There's all sorts of crazy stuff. Another tier 2 going here, Nidoqueen, often regarded as being one of the best kind of just poison types and ground types in the game. What do you think? You think Queen or King is better?
I think it's hard to say because like, I feel like it's Nidoqueen because Nidoqueen can take the hit and dish it out. Nidoking sometimes struggles to actually get off those attacks, but Nidoqueen obviously can like take a weaker hit and deal out the damage. The sheer force makes it so tough. Dude,
with a Life Orb, when you run Calyx and prep and you prep for a Nidoqueen, you just realize I have no safe switch-ins unless I have something that can, if I can predict right and then outspeed it and knock it out.
Exactly.
Because its coverage is insane. Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, Earth Power. Let's not forget Toxic Spikes, man. I love that.
Yes.
And Stealth Rocks and Taunt.
100% accurate Toxic too, which is pretty big as well.
It can do so many things. I love Nidoqueen. Very interesting to see how he's going to pair that with potential Rain there. The Toronto Togekiss grabbing Raikou. We talk about fast electric types in Draft League. One of the kind of cornerstones. Teams always have these check boxes. I need a ground type. I need an electric type. I need a fast electric types, man. Raikou doesn't have U-turn, but it can do some other things like Calm Mind.
Volt Switch has that pressure ability as well, which is pretty cool. I love it with actual Open Z as well, because Z Hyper Beam, Z Shadow Ball are options that can now allow it to break through certain other electric types, for example. I think its speed tier is great. It's definitely something that was on my radar as well.
115 speed and paired with 110 Latios, that's a pretty fast starting point. And one thing to note is with so many teams, there's only so many Pokemon that sit above that 110 speed tier, right? So he grabbed 2 of them right off the gate. That's gonna force some Choice Scarfs. That's gonna force things like Trick Room. It can be very beneficial, but it can also be a hindrance at times. So we'll see how he kind of pairs that. I love this pick, man. Mimikyu, man, in my opinion, is, you can't even quantify how valuable it is, because it's one of the only Pokemon in the game that can guarantee setup.
Yes. Guarantee Trick Room, guarantee setup, unless your opponent is like Mold Breaker or something like that. This Pokemon is so nice because you can let your opponent get up to +6, and then Mimic, you can just come in and be like, nah, bro, I don't care. I'm either going to take it away. I think Psych Up is also a legitimate option on this Pokemon too, as well.
And Z moves. Open Z, that Let's Snuggle Forever can just run through teams, especially if you get a +2. I prefer it with Life Orb because I think Shadow Sneak is just so valuable on it. But Mimikyu is one of those Pokemon that you can legitimately, and the way I've used it recently is I plan my entire match around Mimikyu, and how do I weaken this, and this, so Mimikyu can win the game. And it's so good because of that. The Milwaukee Sawsbucks grabbing Thundurus Therian form, which sits at 101 base speed and is known for its ability to dual dance, that agility nasty plot. In Open Z is
Sludge Wave, Focus Blast, man. You can cover Hidden Power Flying, Hidden Power Ice, Thunderbolt. Gigawool Havoc hits incredibly hard from this Pokemon. A great dual Z Pokemon. Obviously, it lacks the prankster that its brother has.
I think this guy's better, though. I really do.
I think offensively, it's a lot better. I think it's
145 special attack, dude. Like, and it gets U-turn. We talked about the electric types that get U-turn. I love that with this
Exactly.
guy. And it's got an electric immunity. It's got a ground immunity.
Yep.
And what I found from using Thundurus is you basically throw a Z-Crystal on it, and then you run Agility Nasty Plot, or Thunderbolt HP Ice, or whatever you want to run, and dude, it's very hard to switch into because
everybody's picking up electric types too.
They're very valuable. This is a mon that I love. I
Oh,
gotta talk about
that's my
Reuniclus,
baby
man.
as well.
I know we both, dude. There's a reason why we both love Reuniclus, man. This thing is a monster. Just the versatility, dude. Regenerator, Magic Guard, Trick Room, Calm Mind, Iron Defense.
Yep. It's such a fantastic Pokemon. It even has Overcoat too. Like, obviously that's the lesser of the 3 abilities used, but I remember I played aDrive in a league.
Oh, you brought Iron Defense, right?
I brought Iron Defense because I knew he'd bring Bandit Tyranitar, and I just Iron Defense every turn because I guaranteed live every hit, and if he went for Pursuit, I'd stay in. If he went for Crunch, I'd recover and then switch out. So there were just a lot of options to be able to deal with that Pokemon, and this Pokemon, Trick Room, Z moves as well. All out pummeling is going to be really nice for breaking through.
Electric Z is another.
Exactly.
Thunder is a pretty common set, and Reuniclus is. I also love the AV set with Regenerator and knockoff and stuff. That's really cool too. So some pretty good stuff. Now I know you know a lot about Keldeo. I think it kind of has fallen in the ranks in my opinion in terms of Draft League. But it's a very good Pokemon. So what do you think about it going round 2 here for Gator?
I feel like it's definitely something Gator has used a few times as well.
Comfort is important for sure.
Yes, exactly. It's such a great Choice Scarf user. I think that's the big thing because Scald is really tough to switch into, and then cover that with good coverage in Secret Sword, and then you even have a hidden power with Choice. He's used this Pokemon a lot. Mainly the same way every single time, but it's just good or reliable. I think that's the big thing about that. Having a Choice Scarf user that's faster than Pokemon like Landorus as well, and that has good overall bulk, it can at least take one hit is really good. I think Fighting in Water is fantastic coverage. Love it paired with Zero Aura as well, which Zero Aura takes the electric attacks that Keldeo doesn't want to deal with. And with Z moves as well, Hydro Vortex is definitely something.
Very powerful, and it doesn't have any. It gets what is it? It gets Swords Dance. Doesn't have.
It does a Swords Dance. It does a Swords Dance. It does a Calm Mind as well.
It does. Yeah. So Calm Mind, Swords Dance, Aqua Jet. There's some kind of unique niche sets that you can run with that. Envy's gonna grab the Hax God, and that scares me because Envy is so good at the game. When he grabs a thing like Togekiss, which takes skill out of it in some ways, it's scary because you battle someone who's so good that can just flinch you and you can't even do anything. Togekiss, very good Pokemon. I think we can talk about the fact that it can defog for that Victini. It can also spread the status around.
Exactly.
And I think that really benefits Victini.
That's Hustle too, but I think that's a little bit lesser. This is also something that Envy has used, I think, since his first ever Draft League on YouTube as well. He's used it so much, and I think he had like a Togekiss and Donphan type of team. But Air Slash, Fire Blast has a great move pool too, because again, before it became Fairy, it was a normal type. So normal types already are blessed with that move pool as well. And even Ancient Power, and I'm really scared about that too. Excadrill by Wolf is a fantastic steel type. A spinner. You got a Sandrushmon, a great Mold Breaker Pokemon too, is the big one as well. And it's actually a lot bulkier than you think. Like Excadrill is pretty thick on the HP.
Its HP is really good, so you can actually invest fully into like its special defense and run like an AV. You can do a lot of different things with Excadrill, but this is just such a good Pokemon. I feel like a lot of times in Draft League I see it almost ranked lower now. But people forget just how powerful this thing is, and you don't even have to run it with sand. If you decide to go with just Excadrill without sand, it can still be really good. And when you think about sand setters, you still got T-Tar, Mega T-Tar, you got Hippopotas, you got Hippowdon. Like, you could legit grab Gigalith or just Hippopotas, like the baby form, and it can still put in work. So
it doesn't need. I swear, Wolfie's actually looking at an RMT on Smogon and just building an OU team right now. That's exactly what he's doing.
I love this pick. I love it. It's his mascot, Jodor and the Seattle Sea Kings, which, by the way, I want to shout out Jodor and Elliot, who are helping me run the league as well. He's going to grab Infernape, and I got to be honest, this thing, I remember I had it in the NPA, and I won the championship with Infernape, and every single week I looked at my matchup, and Infernape just went in.
It just had a move pool to deal with everything.
Everything, dude. It's move pool, and one of the things is, I think mixed sweepers and just mixed offensive Pokemon in general are very coveted because they're so rare that Pokemon can do both. And in the case of Infernape, it can set up on both sides. Nasty Plot and Swords Dance with priority on both sides. And that's something that really no other Pokemon aside from maybe Lucario can really do that I can think of.
And no other fire type has that versatility besides maybe Victini.
And U-turn, Stealth Rock, it can be a lead. It can do a lot of different things, and I just feel like Infernape's versatility is just so valuable there. We're going to see another Tier 3 go. We're going to see Araquanid. Araquanid, probably the best sticky webber aside from maybe Galvantula, but you cannot sleep on its offensive ability with that Water Bubble.
Liquidation is so... Water Bubble is a broken ability. You cannot have 3 abilities fit into one with that.
It's insane.
Exactly. And the fact that...
Fire resistance, right?
Yep.
Burn immunity.
Yep.
and then doubling your water attacks.
Like, why? Why are you doing that? You only need liquidation in this thing, honestly. They are
You can run Scald. You can run Special.
Exactly. And, you know, it has a decent move pool as well. It's a water type, so, you know, you have the Bug, you have the Poison Jab, you get the Crunch, but you're not going to click any of those anyway every single time. You're probably going to hit webs and just...
One thing I got to say about Arachnoid that I love is you don't even have to bring it as your sticky webber or even focus on that. You can bring offensive and just throw sticky web on there. And then if the situation presents itself, it's like, okay, I'll click sticky web. Like, it's really good in that regard. This is a very, very good mega that I think,
so much.
Dude, this thing is I think a little underrated and it's so powerful, dude. We talk about speed.
You don't even need speed investment.
50 speed, dude. Tough Claws. It can actually run Aerial Ace, which is, you know, it's pretty solid.
I mean,
Taunt, Stealth Rock, Roost. And then we talk about its move pool like Aqua Tail.
I've been wanting to use this Pokemon forever in a draft league, and I finally got my chance in Let's Go, but I think that's broken because it's actually legitimately
It's so
broken
good in Let's Go.
But this Pokemon, you don't even need max speed, which I think is the big thing about it as well.
Just run bulk.
The bulk it gets when it megas is insane. Like, I've never known... Aerodactyl for years was known as a suicide lead. What that means is it sets up Stealth Rock and dies. This is the farthest thing from that. This Pokemon can tank hits, bro. This thing will live a Thunderbolt from Tapu Koko, as long as it's not in terrain. But it will live a Thunderbolt from Tapu Koko and can live a hit from Zapdos as well. Fantastic Pokemon, great move pool too. Skarmory is aDrive.
Yeah, baby. I gotta tell you, man. When I grabbed Kyurem Black, I was thinking, what am I gonna draft to pair with this? Should I get a Steel? Should I get a Fairy? Skarmory, baby. I wanted to use this thing for a long time. When we talk about physical walls and just physically defensive Pokemon, Skarmory is at the top of the list. Its typing, its ability to set hazards, remove hazards, both spikes and rocks, and roost, and it's just so powerful. And you can talk to it. You know, you can't sleep on its offensive sets too.
Yeah.
Weak armor with Swords Dance can be a threat.
We might even see if maybe somebody picks up Hero. We might even see Z Rock Smash coming through. I think one of the big things about this is that there were in the higher tiers, there were very few good steel types left. So I think Skarmory was definitely something that came to mind. I actually expected you to get this or maybe something like Metagross.
Yep.
I think both of them were.
I had been looking at both.
Spikes
for sure.
is great though. Spikes is great with Kyurem Black.
Yeah, just having those hazards and also protecting Kyurem with the defog is also very valuable there.
You ever seen two more Pokemon harder to switch into?
We got some snakes, dude.
Yeah,
he's got the snake duo here. Superior in tier 1, kind of one of those Pokemon that you can kind of argue borderlines tier 1 and tier 2, but Leaf Storm is very difficult to switch into when you're giving it a +2 special attack.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about a little story. I faced a Superior. I can't remember who it was against, but they brought Swords Dance, not Contrary Superior.
Yeah.
And I lost because of it, because he set up Swords Dances in front of me, and I was expecting that he was going to be the Leaf Storm set, and then he brought the physical set. And it can also run things like Leech Seed Sub. Yep. It can run Glare.
That's how I beat Pokemon Black and White. I sub Leech Seed the entire game.
Glare is also really cool. Dragon Pulse is also really cool. And it's got a lot of cool options there in terms of that. And you can run it with dual screens. It's something I kind of like as a sleeper pick there. The New York Marauders grabbing Empoleon, the best defogger. What do you think about this with Latias?
I know Envy was mad about this. This is actually a great UU core of Latias and Empoleon running around. Gives you defog, obviously, the Ice, the Fairy, the Dragon resistances that Empoleon does bring, a whole bunch of other ones as well. But it is just a fantastic Pokemon. It has Swords Dance as well as Defiant too. I think it makes a lot of use of resistant berries too, because Empoleon is really tough to take down. You can put on a Shuka Berry if you want to deal with Landers. You can put on Chopper Berry if you want to deal with Infernape. So I do think it's a great defogger as well in the tier. And you see Envy in the chat saying best defogger.
It's very good, and it can set up those hazards too. So he's got 2 Pokemon to build around that can both remove hazards, and Empoleon just a very good water and steel, just a great steel type. I mean, it's just super versatile, and it can do a lot of different things. I love this pick. The Tennessee Trubbish and Deathly are going to grab Greninja. Now, we mentioned at the beginning of the stream that Greninja is only Torrent. It doesn't get Battle Bond or Protein, but it's still super good, dude.
Yeah. Chimpact, who recently won, believe the GBA, was using Greninja every single week with like Metronome and things like that. Spikes, T-Spike is still a big thing. It doesn't have the typing, obviously, but it still keeps the same move pool. So you throw on an extra belt, a Life Orb.
Yep.
And it can
a Z move too.
Exactly.
I mean, Z Hydro Pump is very, very scary, and we talk about U-turn, being able to pivot around. It's just
one of the great, like, Celesteela is such a great mon with it too. Like, instead of spikes for an offensive one, you can be like a sub-seed Celesteela with T-Spike too. There's so much you can do.
So good, dude. Moves like Gunk Shot as well, allowing it to hit those fairies. It's just, honestly, I'm not surprised to see it go round 2, and I think a lot of people are starting to learn that it's so good. But we've got Vivid actually on the call. Vivid, why don't you tell us about your second pick, Hawlucha?
All right, so I got a lot of flack for this just because I didn't have a Tapu or a terrain setter, but I think Hawlucha's typing, just like flying fighting, it's not, it's not very resisted. And on top of that, it has two great abilities with a great move pool. The abilities being Unburden and then Mold Breaker. So, and Mew can set terrain with the signature Z move. So I thought that this was a no-brainer, and plus I knew it wasn't going to make it back.
Yeah, very cool, man. The Hawlucha pick, obviously, we know Hawlucha in Tier 2, if paired with a terrain, can be really good, but there's other sets that it can run, and its ability to just set up a Swords Dance, and if you can activate that Unburden ability, it can be very, very potent to deal with, because there's not a lot of Pokemon that can switch into that stab combination, acrobatics plus high jump kick. Very, very scary. Thank you, Vivid. We've got Patty Trills and the Sin City Scissors grabbing Mega Zam, dude.
Speed is so important in draft, right? And you have a speedy Pokemon that's really tough to check, right? Because there are very limited checks to Alakazam in general. Dark types, steel types, it can break through a lot of them, right? There are very few that can actually take multiple hits. Zam's not going to need a lot of speed, so it can actually even invest in HP, which might maybe let it take, a weaker hit at that. But yeah. Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Zap Cannon if you're feeling real, Psychic, Calm Mind, Sub. The fact that it traces your abilities is so cool, especially versus regenerative teams.
Exactly. Stuff like that. Yeah, it can do a lot of different things, and it's so fearsome. You mentioned the speed, and that's really the big thing. Is it's just so fast, and because of it's so fast, anything that it comes in against, and it's so powerful too, anything it comes against that it can hit super effective with a Psychic, a Psyshock, or a Shadow Ball, it's gonna be very difficult for them to switch in. We've got the Newcastle Nidokings finishing off round 2 with Snorlax in Tier 3. Talk about value picks out of Snorlax in Tier 3, man. Very good.
And this is exactly why I actually drafted Crocodile, because I knew coming back we'd be heading into Tier 3. Love Snorlax, fantastic Pokemon, great move pool. Belly Drum, Rest, though he does have to be careful, of course, with his electric terrain. Recycle variants as well are super popular. This is a Pokemon that can do a lot. All right, and I said Zap Cannon because I hit 4 in a row, so that's why with my Alakazam, that's why I said Zap Cannon. But Snorlax is such a great value pick, and it gives you like a nice pseudo check to I think everything, right? Like it's an ice and fire resist.
Yep.
It's a status absorber.
It's really only got that one weakness, which is to fighting, and Tapu Koko does resist fighting type attacks. So some really cool options there. So definitely a really good pick, and I think when you look at tier 3, you look at Tier 3, Snorlax is just something that really stands out. But here we have our round 2 recap here. Some really, really good picks. I'm going to call it a few that I noticed. I think Araquanid going so early was pretty wild on Duncan's side, but I just know how big of a threat that is because it can be a breaker. It can also be a team supporter, especially just really nice with the Jirachi there. I also love Necrozma. I think Luke grabbing Necrozma, that could have easily been around 1 pick. I think people undersell its versatility and its pure power. I think the fact that Necrozma went, kind of earlier round 2, great pickup there for Game Boy Luke. Anything standing out to you?
Definitely Hawlucha, but I mean, he already knew he was coming up next, and there is one Tapu running around.
Correct, so there is a Tapu left. We'll see.
We'll see what he's at. But I do think that Mega Medicham is definitely very scary, but I think everybody's picking up the Megas. I'm a big fan of the Megas that were picked this round. I think Alakazam is definitely standing out to me as such a giant threat, right? Like, this Pokemon is just so annoying to switch into in Pokemon in general, right? So you might have your Chople Berry on your Ferrothorn, but I'll hit him Power Fire you, so you better deal with that too. So it's a whole bunch of options. Love Snorlax. I think Patters has a great team.
Yeah, so far. I mean, that's a good start, and he's actually getting to pick next. So being on that wheel, we talk about Vivid having Hawlucha there. Being on the wheel and being able to pick Pokemon that are, complementary to each other is a really big advantage in contrast to someone like Leo, who's sitting with Reuniclus there in the middle of the draft. He really has a lot of time to wait between his picks, so that can be kind of difficult.
Yeah, keep in mind, it's basically 60 picks that have gone by, right? So this is maybe round 5 of an actual draft.
Oh yeah,
that's why we have to pick a specific. We can't pick like normal. Right? I'm not gonna get a whole good team. Like that's it. I'm gonna get what I'm gonna see what's around, what I need. I'm gonna pick it up. I like that a lot of coaches were picking up their Electrotypes this round. We did see a few of them pick it up last round as well.
We've seen Coco and Thundurus, Zapdos, Raikou,
Wash.
A lot of Mons going there.
Electrotypes are definitely falling. Got me a little bit scared coming back to me. I gotta wait, a couple days for my next pick. But
it's a little tough, and like you said, you start to see one domino fall, and then you'll see some of the other ones kind of fall with it. Guys, you can check out the WBE website, !WBE in the chat. That'll give you the website, which gives you access to our YouTube and our Twitter. Take a second, guys. There's a lot of people here right now watching. Go follow us on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube. I want to just call out really quickly, kind of our focus for this league is, we have a team of analysts, and for the first time ever, we're actually paying our analysts. So it's really important to us that you guys support these videos and check it all out and stuff like that. You know, we're just trying to bring the best content we can for Draft League and really support the community here. And really, you know, we have about 50 people working on this project, and it's really important to me and the other coaches that, you know, everyone gets an opportunity to have their voice heard in the league. And really, you know, we want to all help everyone, you know, help each other and just see a lot of success across the league. So very excited about all of that stuff. And I think we can kind of just jump right into round 3. Joe, you ready to rock for round 3? Chat, are you ready to rock for round 3? They're not gonna yell back, I don't think.
Dan, you guys can't see it, but Dan had his ear like against the computer, like waiting to hear
you guys yell back.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's yelling back though. Yeah, I don't think anyone's yelling back. But I think we can jump into round 3. Let's do it. Look at that loot transition. Round 3, kicking us off. Wow.
Mega Gyarados.
Wow, Patters.
Mega Gyarados. Now, I've used this Pokemon in draft, and
I had it last season in WB. I brought it to the championship.
And a little bit like I've earlier in the draft that I actually had this Pokemon, and I wasn't having too much success because I kept trying to just Dragon Dance, Rest Talk, sweep everybody. And I was not getting the right rest. So
yeah.
But this Pokemon, its ability is fantastic.
Oh my god.
Dragon Dance is very threatening. I even used a special variant versus Rain with like Thunder, Hurricane, Fire Blast type of things. I love the offensive power and also the defensive capability of his draft so far.
I think, speaking of Gyarados, though, I just want to say, like, this thing, first of all, its attack is insane, but the fact that you can switch it in, you can intimidate something, you are going to live any hit. This thing has bulk equivalent to Umbreon.
Yeah.
Think of that for a second. Umbreon with Intimidate before it Mega Evolves. Insane. We're going to see Ferrothorn go for the Sin City Scissors. He's going to grab that bulky grass
and
his
Steel to both Alakazam.
Yeah, right? The one thing that takes on those Pokemon, Ferrothorn being able to set those hazards up is really massive. It can set up rocks, it can set up spikes, and it's got so much bulk that oftentimes it can live a hidden power fire.
Yeah, like I said it about Wolf, but Patty is still also building an OU team right here going on. You got spikes, you got hazards. I think Ferrothorn is one of those mons that is really good at what it's, you already know it's going to do, but also has some surprise techs like Bulldoze, for example.
T-Wave.
Knockoff is great. Thunder Wave. I know at one point Gator ran a Focus Sash max speed Thunder Wave Ferrothorn. That way he can take the V-Create from Victini, Thunder Wave it, outspeed it next turn, and explode on it. And there goes the entire threat. So there's some options like that definitely going around too. And its ability just to take every hit. And then we already hinted at Tapu Bulu.
Yeah, we kind of saw this coming. The last of the Tapus is now gone. Lele is not allowed in this format because that thing's broke. But we got Tapu Bulu Halucha with Mew. That's a really good kind of core there. A little surprised to see that Halucha go without the Tapu, but now you pair with the Tapu and you're like, wait a minute. It all makes sense because you can give that Halucha that grassy seed. Yep. You can switch it in. It's going to get a little bit of recovery every turn. You're going to reduce the power of those earthquakes as well. Not aimed at Halucha, but maybe aimed at something later. And you're going to give that Halucha a defense boost with the grassy seed. Activated some burden, double its speed, and then that defense boost plus a little bit of residual recovery could have given an opportunity to set up a Swords Dance.
Exactly. You got some bulky Pokemon like Mew to cover. I think the poison weakness is obviously the biggest one for Bulu going around because Bulu can technically beat the fire types and the ice types.
There's the Stone Edge and the superpowers.
Exactly. Sub-seed variants. You can even run some fun special variants as well. I've seen that in draft too. Love that with Mew and the reliable recovery as well.
Oh yeah.
In its terrain. This dude, Momentum and Celesteela to pivot into it, bro.
I love B, dude. I love Mega B. This thing at one point was frowned upon because Megas didn't get their speed initially. You had to run Protect.
Now it's great.
But let's talk about Felstinger.
Yep.
I mean, I love that. Adaptability, getting double stab on its poison jabs, its U-turns, everything like that just hits so hard. But Felstinger can win the game right then and there. You find something that's a little bit weakened. Maybe Greninja set up some spikes, chip some things down. You get that opportunity to set up that Felstinger hit, and you are getting a +3. You're getting a tail glow on your attack, essentially. And then what lives from that? You get Drill Run, too. You cover those steel types with Drill Run.
X-Scissor.
T-Spikes, too. Another T-Spike
That's a big thing as well. I think he's really focusing. He's really covering his speed tiers, right? Like, Mega Beedrill really just does help him out, and I absolutely love that pick for him. We do have
we're gonna talk about this real quick. Drew and the New York Marauders draft Mega Aggron here. This is actually kind of an interesting situation. I'm not gonna talk into the details of what went behind the scenes, but this Mega Aggron is gonna actually be traded later on. I just want to let you guys know ahead of time. We had a couple transactions take place mid-draft and after draft. We'll cover that tomorrow. He's actually not gonna keep Mega Aggron. This was a situation where he planned to grab Empoleon and his backup was Aggron, and then he ended up grabbing both, and then it's whatever. So he's not going to keep Mega Aggron. He's going to trade it to somebody else. He's not going double steal. I'm just letting you guys know. I just want to clarify that now for Drew. just keep an eye on Drew's team. It's going to be fire when all is said and done. But this Mega Aggron is going to be traded. You might even be able to see a spoiler if you go to the website right now. ! WBE in the chat. So Mega Aggron, though, I will say is a phenomenal Mega. I won a championship with it. Don't sleep on that thing. It's very bulky. We got the Maryland Torterra
Nothing
pins.
but snakes.
Dude, he's the, should we not trust him? Is he a snake? Like 3 snakes. It's almost a meme at this point. But let's talk about the fact that Milotic can sponge them ice type attacks aimed at Zygarde. And this thing is so bulky, dude. Recover. I love its tech in things like Icy Wind.
Marvel scale is so cool.
It's so bulky. Flame Orb. Flame Orb is so good and competitive. You're right, dude.
Competitive is such a cool ability.
Intimidate gives it a +2 special attack.
They're covering each other's weaknesses, by the way. Like I don't know, like they're really working really well.
The triple snakes, dude. I'd love to see some fan art made of like Kelly.
I can't wait for him to
with
get
the
Viper
triple
and
snakes.
Arbok and
It's gonna be real powerful, dude. He'll get Dragonair. Oh man, he's got the snakes, dude. But this thing is so bulky, and again, very difficult to take down. With Burn getting nerfed down to just 6%. Yeah. Very good Pokemon. I'm gonna grab Florges, man. When I grabbed this, dude, I was like, let's go. That Fairy Dragon Steel, man. I love it. Florges can also defog, protect that Kyurem Black. I love the Wish support. I love the natural bulk. I wanted with this draft to grab some new stuff that I've never used, but also really go back to my roots of just bulky Pokemon, because that's something I feel really comfortable with.
Yeah, of course.
And Florges, I feel like, covers that, man. It's not Skarm Bliss or Skarm Chance, but Florges is a pretty good pair for Skarmory.
Fantastic. There's so many dragons running around as well, so this gives you your Skarmory a little bit more air to breathe, or room to breathe, rather. But Florges, I think a big thing about it that people disregard is it has such a massive special attack stat as well.
It's really good, yeah. Exactly. It's really good, and you can
Mind.
run it, Calm Mind, Scarf, actually.
Specs. Even too.
Yeah, and a lot of times in format, you can almost just spam Moonblast because it's such a good offensive typing. So I'm really, really glad that I was able to snag that. We're going to see regular Kyurem get taken here. A very underrated Dragon type in Tier 3, I feel like. It's very good. It can be physical special. It's got an okay speed stat, not quite the same power as the black and white Kyurems, but it's very strong.
Yeah, it's very bulky. I actually faced MV in a league, and it took me like 3 Pokemon to take it down. Inevitably, I lost because I lost all my Pokemon facing this thing. So it's definitely a very scary Pokemon. Sub-Roost as well with pressure is really cool. And I think in OU, this Pokemon makes use of Metronome, which allows it to break through Pokemon like Toxapex. So that's something cool that Kyurem can actually end up doing too. But being able to spam just good ice moves and then having the coverage to back it up as well. Very, very nice Pokemon.
Yeah, super good, dude. Definitely a good pick there, especially as the dragons are falling. There's not a lot of dragons left. So, you know, when you jump into Tier 3, probably one of the best Tier 3s. I think Haxorus is either 3 or 2, but either way. We're going to see Tyranitar as Duncan's Mega Evolution, grabbing Mega Tyranitar here. Mega Tyranitar is a monster, right? We talk about Pokemon that can set up, and its access to Dragon Dance gives it a lot of opportunities to set up and sweep, or at least massively break, and it's got an incredible attack stat, and it's got so much bulk because of the sand boosting its special defense.
This mon does not go down to any special attack.
Hidden Power fighting is not the answer.
Go ahead and Focus Blast me with your Alakazam. I'm crunch you right there, and you're dead.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so bulky, and when you pair that with Sticky Webs, that's very scary. Being able to
fantastic move pool too.
Yeah, we talk about Fire Blast, the Tyraniboa, the old school special set.
Sub. Oh, I love that.
With Ice Beam and stuff. There's a lot of opportunities. Yeah, you could do a lot of things with T-Tar in terms of what it can do, and it's just got so much natural bulk. We'll see if he pairs that with some sand, kind of complementary Pokemon moving forward. I'm a big Donphan fan, man.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm a big fan, dude. Rapid Spin, Stealth Rocks, just great. Yeah, just great team support here. But you can't sleep on the fact that Super Berries, man, it activates that sturdy, gets 50% of its health back.
It has a free hit no matter what. That's the big thing too. It has good offensive presence too. Earthquake, obviously 372 attack. I don't know what that is at level 50.
Yeah, ask Vivid about Donphan. We just played in the playoffs, and I brought the Play Rough, Fire Fang.
Yeah.
You know, dude, Ice Shard, Earthquake, Donphan. It's so good, dude.
It has great. Honestly, it's a great spinner. I think it's a great spinner because its ability to actually beat the spin blockers, which is the big thing about it. Using Z moves, Custap is released, which is great for it. Thank you so much. Custap being released is really nice for Donphan, and just an offensive mon. You don't even have to use it for Rapid Spin or Rocks too. That's a big thing. Ground types are great.
It can just do other things too. Yeah, we're gonna see Mega Blastoise go from Milwaukee. We were actually talking about Blastoise before the stream started, just in casual convo, and this thing is a monster, dude. Like. The fact that this thing has so much natural bulk and then has Mega Launcher to boost, Dark Pulse, what is it called? Aura Sphere,
Water Pulse, Dragon Pulse as well.
And again, it can spin. It can rapid spin.
It's so bulky, man. That's the biggest thing about it. I absolutely love Wolf's team going on. It looks absolutely incredible. The Tornadus pairing well with Blasters in terms of spinning. Same thing with Drill. They pair really well together. And just overall bulk, it does not go down to one hit. That's the biggest thing about Blastoise.
Yeah, and we see Donphan, Blastoise go relatively close to each other. There's not a lot of good rapid spinners, right? And when you talk about hazard removal, it's a big part of competitive Pokemon. His team doesn't really care about hazards yet, but it gives him options down the road to grab like a Volcarona or something, which generally is so weak to hazards, you don't have to worry about it. Now we're gonna see our first tier 3 Mega, I believe it was sitting at tier 3.
Yes.
Mega Sceptile. So by grabbing a low tier Mega, he actually gives himself more points for his free point total, which can boost the rest of his draft. So if you see someone grab a lower tier Mega, like a Mega Glalie or something, it actually helps the rest of the draft. So he's gonna grab Mega Sceptile. We talk about speed. 145 base speed on this thing, and the ability to run physical or special is pretty valuable.
I think one of the big things, one of the big reasons that MV picked this up, just for speculation, is that a lot of the fast electric types were going, right?
Yeah.
So this actually still lets him cover those water types as well. And even those electric types, because of its ability, Leaf Storm is really hard to switch into. MV definitely has a team that's really tough to switch into. And Mega Sceptile being able to make use of even moves like Leech Seed and his coverage in Earthquake and Focus Blast is really cool.
For sure. Gator's gonna grab Heatran to
all
pair
reliable.
with.
This is all reliable.
Yeah.
This is his team. He's
Keldeo, Zero, Aura, and Heatran. What do you think about the Heatran pick here?
Love Heatran. Love Gator's been able to use it. I think that Gator's way of playing is having a team that can take hits, which a lot of people like. Having a team that take hits, and that way he doesn't have to predict as much while he's actually playing, but he can win because of a well-crafted team. And I think Heatran is something that allows him to do that as well. This is something that I've seen him do a lot. Even Specs Eruption could be really cool too. Like Heatran is just. It's a great Pokemon.
Yeah, and the fact that it can set up those hazards, it's got that fire immunity, which is really nice with Flash Fire. It can be run with a Shuka Berry, really catch some people off guard. Air Balloon's also nice. I mean, I've faced this thing with Air Balloon, and there's certain Pokemon that plan to hit it with a ground type attack, and then they can't do anything to it. And you can't break the balloon because then you lose your mon. Like it's like it can be really tricky. Now, when we talk about Pokemon that I think are underrated right now and getting the best out of your picks,
that's the captain.
Leo hit a home run here. Manaphy, I know you've used it. I've used it.
So many times.
I led the APA, I think it was, or one of the leagues in kills with Manaphy. Z Rain Dance Manaphy is so scary.
It's even scarier, bro. Back when I used Z moves didn't exist.
Yeah,
now
dude.
It's just crazy. It's really gonna be a pain, I think, to prep.
It's so good, man. It has the best setup move pretty much in the game. Tail Glow, boosting its special attack 3 stages. You don't even have to invest in a special attack. It's got Energy Ball to break those bulky waters. It's got so much natural bulk itself that it can always set up. And again, I think the Z Rain Dance set is really set. Like, Z Rain Dance also activates its hydration ability, which means not only is your water moves getting a plus 1 boost, then you get the Tail Glow up. You can't be toxic.
Can't status it.
It's insane. And we see sort of a check to it. Not even really. Vaporeon going next for Steve. Yeah, roar it out, dude. What do you think about Vaporeon for Magnitude here?
Well, Steve's really drafting an interesting team. I like the Wish support. He has the Electric Water, so I like them going together, obviously.
Yeah.
I think Clefable is going to be nice for banking on hits. I know you use Vaporeon a lot.
Yeah.
You love its soft baton pass as well.
That's it. Yeah. Dry pass is a really valuable thing. Instead of U-turn or Volt Switch, you can use Baton Pass without stats, and it gives you that momentum switch that the other things do. And Vaporeon being a slow Pokemon to do that can give setup opportunities for Thundurus. You can get Thundurus in for free, which is massive. And it's got a water immunity, it's got an electric immunity with Thundurus, some really cool pieces there. But I think, being able to support the team and sponge hits, and it's got a decent special attack stat. Its Scald Spam's pretty solid, so some options there. We're going to continue our theme here for the LA Spice. K-Cray grabbing Porygon to one of the hardest things to knock out on the format.
Easily, and getting more Trick Room support, and honestly, with its traceability and even, analytic, it has some great abilities, right?
Oh, yeah.
This Pokemon is a nice wall with a Violet. It can take very many hits. It's coming back off. I like the fact that Gyarados trying Dragon Dance in my face, or Salamence Dragon Dance in my face. I come in, get the Intimidate, I Ice Beam you back off. I know that K-Cray loves to draft cute Pokemon.
This is pretty cute.
I'm seeing this and I see Mimikyu. I'm still trying to understand Garchomp there.
Garchomp's cute, dude. Just put a bow on it. Very cute. But yeah, Porygon 2's one weakness, fighting types. Mimikyu does not care about fighting types. You're giving it a free switch in. And again, Mimikyu a little on the slow side. You give that Thunder Wave support, that's going to be really tough. Pokemon that really benefit from Z moves. Cobalion. This thing is tremendous. It can do a lot of things. It can set up hazards with Stealth Rock, but It also gets Volt Switch, which is very valuable. It can be physical or special, set up on both sides. What do you think about Cobalion?
I love the Volt Switch, as you mentioned. Love Combine, as you say. Z-moves honestly did buff this Pokemon. I love this Pokemon before it had Z-moves. I love its ability to have it now. It's a great check to Steel types as well, which I think is the biggest thing about Cobalion.
Justified, too.
Yeah, exactly. Justified is nice. It's such and it works well with what they have, bro. Double Volt Switch.
That's a fast team, too. It's very fast.
Very, such a pain to switch into, honestly. I know a few of these Pokemon were also on my radar as well, so...
Very good Pokemon, yeah. And one thing I want to point out, because I think this is educational for you guys, most team is very fast. It's important for him to also draft things that aren't so fast.
Yeah.
Because what'll happen is in prep, people can just run max bulk.
Yeah, exactly.
Or trick room and things like that. So while having a fast team is important, it's also important to consider all the speed tiers, because I think it's good to have a good range there. I love this Mon. Tier 1 is tricky for Volcanion. I feel like it's one of those Pokemon that kind of borders, but it is very difficult to switch into. It has one of the best offensive moves in the game in Steam Eruption.
Yes, for sure. I feel like Steam Eruption does not burn as much as I like, but maybe
right?
that's just because it's killing whatever it's attacking.
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Especially because you do have Pellet prepared right next to it. So
yeah, so he's getting a boost on that, and
while weakening his fire type attacks though. But
a little weird.
But Volcanion does have a good move pool as well. Earth Power, Sludge Wave,
yeah.
Explosion as well are options. Super Power
I love
too.
Flame Charge on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting that speed boost to then potentially clean or sweep or even just wall break at another level, very good. But I tell you, Water Boost and Steam Eruption, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And again, many Pokemon can't switch into that burn chance as well. Underrated tier 3s, man. Meloetta, I feel like, falls into that. He's trying to draft
the... two Pokemon almost.
Yeah, he's got a couple things singing there, but you're right. It is 2 Pokemon in 1. Meloetta getting that Pirouette form, being able to go for its Relic Song.
Exactly.
Essentially doubling its speed almost, it feels like, and then being able to be a physically offensive Pokemon as opposed to a specially offensive Pokemon. I gotta shout out Christian, because he actually 6-0'd me with a Meloetta once. I missed my Mega Horn.
And that was the only chance you had. Meloetta is one of those Pokemon that, just like Cobalion, takes huge advantage of Z moves with Z Focus Blast, Z Gigavolt Havoc, Shadow Ball if necessary. Very hard to switch into. Its biggest drawback, I feel, is if you use the Pirouette form, if you switch out, you have to go for Relic Song again while coming out. I don't know why they did it that way, but they decided
But
to.
It's also Serene Grace Relic Song.
So nice, yeah.
So you have a chance to sleep, which is pretty cool.
Big thing.
I love Metagross. I think that even though Mega Metagross isn't allowed, I feel like regular Metagross still has a lot of viability in a Pokemon that has Clear Body, so it's immune to those Intimidates and stuff, but it can set up hazards. But I love its just 130 attack with Bullet Punch, just so good, especially when you're dealing with other fairies that could threaten that Altaria.
Yeah, I got sniped, I'll be real. I wanted Metagross this round. But I didn't expect it to stay anyway. Gives them a nice Steel type as well, which is really nice. You already mentioned it's one of those Pokemon that you can do so much, right? Rock Polish, Sweep. It can run special moves as well, has access to Grass Psychic as well, Flash Cannon too.
Agility. I don't know if we said that, but agility is really good.
And the fact that it has its ability, it doesn't care about your Intimidates or anything. Like you're not dropping its stats, which is also big versus Sticky Web too.
Yep.
Which I think is pretty cool. So you can run like a max speed Metagross.
It's a good weakness policy, Mon. Seen often in VGC, a lot of weakness policies on that. Dude, I tell you,
Unbound with Speed Pass and Aurora Veil.
I was when I was doing my drafts and I decided to like Scar and Florges, I was thinking, do I just make everyone hate me and just grab Hoopa with Kieran because nothing switches in. This thing is insane, dude. Like the massive attack and special attack that this thing has, its only weakness is its speed. And he's got a Scolipede. That's really insane, dude. It's got a really big weakness to Dark, right? That's the big thing, right? Or no, he's Psychic and Dark. So he's got the bug weakness. The bug weakness, yeah.
Bug weakness.
Which he has 2 resists, which is a thing too. But with hazard support, with speed pass, this thing is insane.
Exactly. It has options like Z Snatch as well to boost its speed too, while also stealing something that you end up going for. Hyperspace Fury, and
so powerful.
It's really tough to switch into.
Dark is a really good type, especially in Draft League. There's not a lot of things that resist Dark. Every team's gonna probably have a Fairy, but not every team's gonna have a Fighting type or a Dark type. And being able to spam Hyperspace Fury is very scary.
I'm a big fan of this Pokemon.
It's very good, man. I tell you what, it's funny because I remember I had it in UCL way back in the day, and I grabbed it like 8th round. Like no one cared about Tangrowth, but it's so good, dude. Regenerator, and you can run Assault Vest to patch up that bad special defense, but it's a very hard Pokemon to take down from a physical perspective.
For sure.
And its attack is good, too.
And AV, you mentioned AV. AV is a huge thing on Tangrowth as well. Like, being able to take those weaker ice moves, obviously not like Cure Black and things like that you have running around. But Tangrowth being able to do that has a great move pool as well. It has like access to things like Swords Dance too.
And it can.
Sweep,
you can run physical attacks like Earthquake and then run Leaf Storm to break on the special side. There's a lot of versatility. I really do like Tangrowth, and I feel like this is right around where I expect it to go too, especially
exactly.
in tier 2. Another one of those Lech types going, the Prankster Thunderous variant, Thunderous Incarnate form. Gonna grab his first tier 1 here. It could do a couple things. One, it's got Defiant. So all those hazard removers, the defoggers, intimidators, it's actually going to give him a boost. And he's got a decent enough attack and special attack to benefit from that. But it can really do a lot of things with Taunt, Prankster Taunt, Thunder Waves. It can stop sweeps that way.
Sub as well is really cool too.
Yeah, sub lefties. I know I faced Tyler with that actually once. But it's a very versatile Pokemon, and it can do what the other Thunders can do as well. It's just a little faster.
Exactly. It's a little bit weaker.
And Z moves too. With the Z moves, it can really make up from that.
Makes it just a great Pokemon.
Yeah, and if it nasty plots, because Thunderous Incarnate or Etherean form often has to run agility because it's a little on the slower side. This guy doesn't, because it can. In many cases, especially in a league with 28 teams, it may just outspeed stuff in general. And it's funny, we see the two
Genies
Incarnate forms. This is Sand Force Landorus Incarnate, not Sheer Force. It cannot run Sheer Force. That thing's broken. But Sand Force Landorus is still very good.
Yes, exactly. Still Swords Dance options, U-turn, Explosion. I think that the physical variant of Landorus really, when Sheer Force came out, just kind of got overlooked. Back in Gen 5, this Pokemon was KOing Hippowdons at +2 with like Life Orb, Sheer Force, Earthquake, right? So it's definitely a giant threat. Has a good speed tier, Rock Polish options. Still has its special move pool, of course. Just doesn't have the Sheer Force boost, but fantastic Pokemon.
One thing I want to mention too is, I love when teams do this. Landorus' big weakness is those ice type moves, and Mega Scissors' big weakness is those fire type moves, and you're gonna force your opponent to say, okay, do I run Hidden Power Ice? Do I run Hidden Power Fire? I can't pick both. I have to pick one on. It's very difficult to deal with that in preparation, and that can just make the guessing games that much more. And then you throw a blanket wall in there like Necrozma, and you can really, really put your opponent in a bad spot. The Pelipper is grabbing Slowbro in tier 2. I'm gonna say that I actually think, in the case of Slow King being tier 3, I think Slow King is the better pick. But what do you think about Slowbro?
So offensively, I think Slow King is a lot better just because of nasty plot. But if you guys didn't know, you can actually EV a Slowbro to be basically the same as a Slow King in most cases. I think that Slowbro gives him a good physical wall, gives him something that's gonna, Pokemon that deal with Salamence. You got like Mammal Swine, right? You got ice types in general. Slowbro will deal with most of them outside of maybe Weavile, and even then you run a Colbur Bear and you'll be able to deal with that. With Open Z, this has Trick Room options as well. Slowbro has a fantastic move pool. I'm naming Zap Cannon because one, you could use that, but you can also use Gigavolt, Flamethrower, Fire Blast,
Slack Off, and Regenerator together. It's very bulky,
Pokemon.
very
Beautiful
bulky.
Pokemon.
This, honestly, our first tier 4 goes, and I've said it many times. Bronzong, one of the best steel types in the format.
As I mentioned, in this draft, I'm going for value picks, which is why my tier 1 and tier 2 are not being picked up. I think Bronzong out of steel types is one of the best one. I did mention I was sniped though. Metagross was something I wanted over Bronzong. I wanted a more offensive variant, but Bronzong does the same thing. Levitate. I've seen Calm Mind variant sweep as well. Trick Room options, obviously giving me a nice ground immunity, like I mentioned. Heat Proof can be something that's used too, and I'm happy about this, right? I don't like this Pokemon in specific tiers. Like in RU, I hate this Pokemon because I always get Pursuit Trapped. But in Draft League, when I know what you're bringing, a lot better. I think.
Very good. Yeah, especially since you can kind of fit its ability to fit what you're gonna face. And I also love the fact that you can take some of that Stealth Rock pressure off of Crocodile.
Yes.
You don't have to rely on Crocodile to be your rocker.
Exactly.
Very good there. We're going to see Old Man Tup in the Pyranita is actually finishing his Fire Water Grass.
Grass. Beautiful draft, by the way. Beautiful draft.
Roserade is one of those Pokemon that can do a lot of things. We talk about versatility in Draft League, but Spikes and T-Spikes, very nice hazard support there. But a thing I love about Roserade is Hidden Power and just Technician in general.
Technician is broken, bro. It's not even... Dude, honestly, when Hidden Power was nerfed, I hated the fact that my Landorus wasn't... Like, I wasn't killing Landorus like HPIs, but like, this Pokemon hits like its stab.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Basically, Roserade has 3 stabs, basically. The Hidden Power type, the Leaf Storm, obviously, and the Poison type as well. I just named like 3 different things.
Very
that
good.
Entice.
And it's got a good amount of special bulk. It can actually be relatively difficult to kind of switch into. First of all, Leaf Storms can be really powerful. It's got an okay speed tier.
Spikes and T-Spikes.
Yeah, it can do a lot of things, and I think pairing it with Rotom and Charizard, very good there. We're going to see another Rotom form go, the final pick in round 3.
They took Rotom Heat.
Yeah, that's funny. His mascot, obviously, the Rotom. So he's going to grab... I feel like he needs to change his mascot to be the oven one.
For this one, that'd be pretty cool.
I love that. I love this pick here, giving him a very good fire switch in for that Kartana.
Yeah.
And also giving him a Volt Switcher to kind of pair with Kartana as well. To get that Kartana in for free.
Defog support too, next to Kartana as well. Will-O-Wisp, Kartana, Mamoswine, and Rotom Heat really go well together.
Mamoswine. Very nice. So very good Pokemon, just in general, and you can't sleep on One, you can run Fire Z with those overheats, and just specs in general can be really scary.
Really tough to switch
Scarf. There's a lot of things you can do with Rotom in general, and it can be very versatile. That's our round 3 picks there, man. We're doing pretty good here. We got through round 3. Some very good picks. I want to say I'm loving Luke's team, dude.
Yes.
I think Landorus Incarnate often gets slept on because it doesn't have that sheer force, but Sandforce, even if you don't use the ability, can be really good. Still a really good Pokemon. I love pairing the Ice Weakness and a Fire Weakness together. Very, very cool there. And I want to say also, I love the triple snakes, man. I'm going to show some love to Kelly under the radar for Zygarde, Milotic, and Superior. Very interesting.
Yes, I'm a big fan of Wolf's team. I think it's a team that's really can pivot into things, but also can dish out damage, so I love that a lot. Mega Tyranitar might have been my favorite pick from this round, though, just because that Pokemon in general is just so good, right?
Yeah.
It's not weak to like whatever it is. So Wolfie VGC, love it, bro. Absolutely love it. Now, I think that your pick as well, Florges, really did a lot for you. Itself. I'm a huge fan of its defensiveness and the fact that you can defog and whatnot as well. And Tyler's team as well. Mega Beedrill, another Mega I love this round. Like there's some great picks this round. Mega Beedrill though, Mega Tyranitar, and Mega Blasters are the ones that I really love the most. So.
Very good stuff. We actually just have some really cool information here. We'll wrap up round 3. Let's switch over for a second. Guys, we got the WBE merch store available. The majority of the coaches are there. I think we're missing a few, but we're working on it. But you guys can check out the WBE merch store, !WBE merch in the chat if you guys want to check out all the t-shirt designs, man. We got the WBE tee, and we got all the awesome shirts for all the teams and their awesome logos and everything like that. So if you want to support the various coaches, you can check out the WBE merch store, !WBE merch in the chat.
Mine has my crappy signature as well.
He's got a signature on it, man. That's pretty cool. Couple other things too. Real quick before we jump into round 4, I want to mention that we are going to be doing the second half of the draft tomorrow.
Yes.
Same time, 11 o'clock. So you guys can check out the second half of the draft tomorrow. We decided to break it into 2 streams because there's so many picks. So we'll be doing that. And the other thing I want to mention, a couple little plugs here. Make sure you guys check out !WBE in the chat. You can go to the website. You can actually see all the picks updated live. You can check out the schedule. You can check out the tiers, what's available. You can check out what every team has and all that good stuff. A lot of stuff there. Please go subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Please, please, please.
We have some great content coming out, honestly, and a lot of people are putting in a lot of work into it. And you guys really just, the most you can do for us is, that's the best way you can support us, obviously. We're not, if you don't want to watch, don't. But if you do and you want to support the WBE and you're excited about this, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel itself. Like I said, we're going to have some fantastic content coming out. And yes, I did kind of comb my hair a little bit, but it was just with my hand, okay? So don't, there's nothing like crazy.
My shirt is going to be added shortly, guys. We're adding the last couple shirts up right now, so if you don't see a shirt there that you want, just hang in there. My individual store has my Vikavolt shirts, but I'll get it on the WBE store as well.
Some are asking about when the WBE starts next week.
Oh yeah,
right?
so that's true. Yeah, so this week is going to be the draft. This weekend we're going to have everyone's going to do their draft breakdowns on their own channels tomorrow after the second part of the draft, and then battles go up next week. So we're jumping right into things. No wait, nothing. Battles start next week on everyone's channel, and the content for the WBE channel will be starting today. Or tomorrow when I get the draft stream up. I'm going to try to get it up as soon as I can.
So. We got interviews coming as well, and we have some great
coach interviews, power rankings, the whole deal, full analyst team. And by subscribing to the WBE channel, you're supporting so many people, guys. I can't stress that enough. We're really trying to make this massive undertaking come to fruition and really support everyone in this process. So be sure to show some love there. And last but not least, before we jump into round 4, we're going to shout out PokeaimNinja, our sponsor.
Oh, that was me. I was like,
for WBE, man. We got PokeaimNinja, the WBE Pixelmon servers. You can check them out. We've got the Eterna server, the Diamond and Club servers. You can type !Pixelmon in the chat for the tutorial. It's free to play Pixelmon. You can take on gyms. You can battle. You can shiny hunt. We're going to have all sorts of cool stuff going on there for the WBE, including a number of different coaches playing on and doing different events. So check out Pixelmon. Again, it's free to play. We'd love to have you on there.
It's really fun, guys. I have 7 badges so far. I actually did that like immediately. Like I was actually completing the badges, and then Dan was making the game harder after I was beating gym leaders. Like I beat the bug type with Swords and Scizor. He gave Amoonguss HP Fire.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna beat it. So it's really fun. It's really like the gym battles are competitive, and I love that about it too. So that's really cool for Pixelmon, and if y'all want to play it as well.
Yeah, and I just want to also mention this weekend there's a 50% off sale on the PokeaimNinja servers. Talk about good timing. That wasn't actually even planned, but there's a 50% off sale. It's free to play on the servers, but you can buy ranks to get different like priority access and all sorts of stuff. You can also get crates to get rarer Pokemon, and there's so many things you can do. And it's all the way updated to Meltan and Melmetal, just to give you guys an idea. There's Shadow Pokemon, Primal Dialga. There's so many like cool stuff. There's like, and we're working on even more. So really cool stuff there. So again, big shout outs to our friends at PokeaimNinjas for hooking it up and giving us this opportunity and sponsoring the league to allow us to pay our analysts and to do all sorts of cool stuff, right? Like that's what this is all about, right? Like, you know, Joey and I, we're not taking paychecks, right? We have our YouTube videos and stuff like that. This is all about trying to pay our analysts and our designers and making sure that we can help the community grow. And that's really what it's about. Like, that's the truth.
Exactly. And just to take it even further, all the coaches, we're not taking money. We put in money to be in this league because that's how much we actually believe in what this is and what it's going to be doing for draft. So we definitely want to take draft to the next level as far as YouTube goes and Wi-Fi battling content. And honestly, I'll be real. If this goes well, I can't wait to see what happens with Sword and Shield.
I know. This is like, I'll be honest, it's almost like a test run to see what's possible for Sword and Shield, and there's so many things that we can do. So really excited about what's to come with WBE in this project, and really just trying to help out so many people and really make something really special out of Draft League format, because I know Joey feels similarly. We both think that Draft League format is one of the best ways to not only play but watch Pokemon and competitive Pokemon, and I hope that this is the start of something much bigger with tournaments and all sorts of stuff down the road. Yeah, really cool stuff. So we're excited about that. But without further ado, let's jump into round 4.
Coming back.
We're going to do it, man. You guys ready for round 4? I think we're ready. Let's do it. Round 4, kicking back off. We have got Aaron Cybertron Zhang pairing his Rotom Heat with Mega Slowbro, man. What do you think about that bulky water?
I like that pick a lot for him because previously before his water type switching was Kartana, which will die to most water moves coming out of it. I know that a bulky Rotom's Hydro Pump that's 57% to Kartana minimum. I already know that calc off the top of my head because I missed it yesterday. Now, Mega Slowbro provides him Trick Room support. It provides him that overall bulk. I think its ability, Shell Armor, is
can't
ridiculous.
Be crit.
Yeah, not being able to be crit.
The only way to guarantee to beat this thing is Toxic.
Exactly.
Much.
Or if you have like a Mold Breaker, like if Dan crits it with like Fusion Bolt or something like that, that wouldn't even kill Slowbro, to be honest. But yeah, this is a fantastic Pokemon for Aaron, and it's definitely something I'm interested to see him using. As we've seen, a lot of the Pokemon he's been using are Pokemon that he's used before, so I would love to see him use something different, and that's what that Pokemon is. Dude, his team just gets better and better every single time. Honestly, you got a secondary Defogger, you got a Stealth Rocker, you got another Ground Immunity. Beautiful. I love it. And you got the Ice Resistant Rotom Wash as well. I honestly, if I could take Tup's team, I would right now. And
it's very good. A little on the slow side so far. Yes. That's the only nitpick I would say, but
it's a really balanced build though.
Gliscor is very difficult to take down because of its Poison Heal. Being able to essentially be immune to poison and heal yourself up is insane, and it has setup opportunities with Swords Dance. You can run like
Baton Pass as well. It can Baton Pass too.
Yeah, dude.
It can SD pass the Charizard. It can Speed pass the Charizard. That's a big thing. I think Speed passing the Roserade, Speed passing the Charizard, even Speed passing to maybe an offensive Rotom in some matchups might just be like the beginning of the end right there. And Subtoxic as well is a big thing as well if you want to do that on Wi-Fi. All right, so
okay, Joey. Okay.
Subtoxic. So like I said, I get sniped in for this round, but
I thought we were friends.
Dude, I mean, come on, it's just Toxapex. I really got Toxapex because I want to be able to use Merciless, and I think that I have a better chance of using Merciless in draft format than I do in any other format. But Toxapex provides me a poison type. I'm a big fan of grounded poison types. I think they're key in draft. I would have loved Roserade, obviously, but as I mentioned, I was sniped on Thundurus, T, and Metagross, so obviously Bronze on Toxapex did the exact same thing if you actually look at it. Not really. But I get my T-Spikes, I get my Gunk Shot, I get my Knockoff. It has cool options like Frost Breath too, Baneful Bunker. I'm a Toxic everybody. That's the whole goal of this. And just giving me a bulky water as well, which is something I lacked before, and you know, obviously Toxapex comes with a million resists, so. Yeah,
dude, such a good bulky Pokemon. This is a Pokemon that often gets kind of forgotten, but there's not many switch-ins to Diggersby.
Nothing.
We talk about being stab normal type, Earthquakes, that huge power boosting its attack, and it also has the ability to set up with things like agility. Exactly. It's got priority with quick attack, so
Spikes
it can run Banded, and it's got great coverage too. You talk about Z moves, agility with a Z move, Wild Charge, dude. Like, Knockoff, it can do a lot of different things. It is very difficult to switch into Diggersby.
Exactly. Fantastic Pokemon. I think the ground, the electric immunity is really nice and definitely appreciated by this. honestly, Mega Diancie and Diggersby is just gonna be a pain. I think to like prep for. And even Salamence being able to switch into. Big fan of this Pokemon. I think that some normal types are really good on their own, but this is definitely a normal type that benefits because of its secondary ground typing, right? So, absolutely fantastic Pokemon. Another Pokemon that's super hard to switch into.
Dude, so good. I remember drafting this thing, and you just legitimately just run specs every week.
Yeah,
like you don't have to do anything else.
Anything, bro. You have if you want coverage, you run Psychic, right? And Energy Ball.
Yeah, Energy Ball. Like you just run specs, Moonblast, Hydro Pump, and Scald. Like
Moonblast itself is such a broken move, right? It's so high in power, it has no
chance of special attack drop.
And has a chance of special attack drop, right? I think honestly it is a broken move in itself, and this is great. It gives him a bulky water.
It's so
I love
bulky.
what he's doing as well. He's covering his weaknesses well. And
a fire and ice resist.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, can we just talk about this? Like, this is a very
Dragon
good team, and and this is a very good team that Luke is drafting here.
Yeah, I think a big thing is the fact that it was tier 3 as well. It makes it such a huge value pick.
Yeah, I tell you, Primarina was on my radar. I went with Florges because I couldn't pass that up, but it was definitely something I considered. The Noibat's grabbing a low tier Mega Steelix.
Big fan of this Pokemon. He is actually making a UU team right now.
It's
Mega
very
Steelix,
good.
Hydreigon, and Sylveon, passing Wish support with that. But it is a fantastic Pokemon, a great stealth rocker. It's really bulky. I think Mega Steelix has the stats that I really wanted for Steelix and even Onix to have overall, but it would have been borderline broken if that was the case. But Licks can eat hits, has curse options as well, Heavy Slam, Gyro Ball, Earthquake, the Elemental Fangs too. I think it's a fantastic electric immunity as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's just so bulky, and I think when you think about the fact that Sylveon can really pass those wishes pretty safely to Steelix, really benefits it. We'll see if he gets any use out of that ability, that Sand Force ability. If he can figure out a way to do that, that's going to make this thing even more powerful. But remember that something like Mega Steelix is going to give more points to the team, so he's going to be able to draft some better stuff later on. We're going to see regular Swampert in tier 3.
Big old team player right here.
This is it, dude. This thing can set up those stealth rocks, and its real kind of key is its one weakness to just grass types, paired with a Zapdos and a Tangrowth.
Exactly, and to be able to take all hits as well is a big thing. Like you just mentioned, one weakness. Stealth Rock is a big one. The electric immunity as well. It pairs really well with Tangrowth too because of that fire resistance. As well, so I really do love this team. Pairs well with Zapdos because of the rock resistance too. So big old team player. Has options in Curse as well. You could even see Choice Band, Choice Scarf sets. I've seen them run even Spec sets. So I love this Pokemon. Big fan of team player. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of Mega Swampert just because of its great thing. But this is just baby Mega.
It's a good Pokemon. Yeah. It's definitely the best. There's a handful of water ground types, and that's definitely the best.
Exactly.
We're gonna see tier 3 Serena go here. Serena known for its ability to actually remove hazards with Rapid Spin.
Yep.
It also gets U-turn. I think on a team with Hoopa Unbound, being able to switch that thing in for free is really important. So I think Serena doing that. But let's not forget, we talked about Hoopa Unbound not really liking some priorities sometimes. Serena's Queenly Majesty ability really kind of handles that. But let's not sleep on this thing's massive attack stat.
Yes.
And its ability to run Trop Kick to lower attacks,
Power
Whip
and
now,
high jump kick.
and High Jump Kick.
As knockoff, provides cleric support as well with aromatherapy. It is a really cool
Synthesis
Pokemon.
too.
Exactly.
So it can really fit in a lot of different roles in Draft League format, and it can be very versatile. And I love the U-turn. I really love U-turners, and I really love slow U-turners. And I feel like Serena kind of sits in that middle speed tier where you can use it both, right?
Yes.
But its versatility is very nice. And speaking of pivots, we've got Jolteon.
Jolteon, again, we were talking about electric
in tier 3,
and now he's picking it up itself. I think Jolteon is also one of those mons that, like, we talk about it in OU, that it's one of those mons that's the scariest to fight on the lower ladder because a lot of newer people like to use Jolteon. I think it's the same way, in a sense, in draft too. A fast electric type. I've seen options with Quick Feet as well to be able to revenge kill Choice Scarf users and even some rain variants too. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't have the best move pool. Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball is the
you often have to run Life Orb or Specs a lot of times.
Exactly.
And it's special
but
attack.
It's hard to switch into.
It can be. And he gives himself an electric immunity, which is nice. And
Baton Pass too.
And just that speed tier I think is just massive because now you're forcing. Speed tiers are so important in Draft League because you can force certain natures. Instead of running Adamant, you might have to run Jolly and vice versa and whatever. So that's important. You also force Choice Scarfers and things like that. So it's very important. We're going to see Tornadus Incarnate form in tier 3. Very good pick.
Speaking of speed tiers, giving him Tailwind support too.
Yes, and we're looking for something like Gardevoir, very good. He was kind of what Tornadus does is it does a lot of things. One, it can remove those hazards.
Yes.
It can taunt. It's got Prankster. It can also pivot with U-turn. But let's not forget Z moves, man.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
Hurricane,
it has
bro.
a good move pool.
Yeah.
It has fighting moves. It has Grass Knot. It has a U-turn for momentum, as you mentioned. It has knockoff. It has bulk up. So Prankster on that is pretty cool. I think flying is such a great stab as well.
Oh yeah, Brave Bird spam. We talk about
Exactly,
things like Crobats to Raptor, those mons that haven't been drafted yet that can spam flying type.
Yep.
Flying is one of the most spammable attacks in Draft League because most teams don't have much to switch into
even
it.
Even in general.
That wasn't planned. That segue there. We're gonna see a massive surprise here. The Miami Don fans are gonna grab Mega Pidgeot.
And not Mega Swampert.
Not
which you would
Mega
expect to Pelipper.
Swampert. Wow. So that opens up Mega Swampert, Politoed for someone else. Mega Pidgeot for the Don fans. This thing is a monster, dude. We talk about kind of weird though because Pelipper. This is strange. I wish we had Kyle to hop on right now to talk about this, but that's why you got to watch the team breakdowns. But 100% accurate Hurricane is great, but you have Pelipper to set up the rain for that Hurricane.
Well, we did just talk about how hard it is to switch into flying type attacks, and Pidgeot has it best, right? It doesn't care about its Hurricane. Hurricane is another
30% chance to confuse is massive.
Has refresh variants to beat and work up to beat like bulkier teams. Heat Wave as an option, U-turn.
Hyper Beam, bro. Yeah. I ran Hyper Beam on it to kill Zapdos.
Yeah, biggest drawback I feel like is No Guard, which I can use against it
Zap
as well.
Cannon.
Exactly. Yeah,
Zap Cannon, baby.
Mega Absol, dude, his team is fast.
This is insane, yeah. So, again, it's going to be important for the mode to really look at those low speed tiers now, too. But this is a mon. I had Mega Absol, I think, in the first WBE season. Reaper, it actually led the league in kills. Its ability to run just Swords Dance and not be stopped with Thunder Wave or Toxic is massive. But special move pool is massive. Ice Beam,
Fire Blast, Thunder. Knockoff Swords Dance is really big. I think
Sucker Punch.
Exactly. I think Mega Absol really does take advantage of slower teams. That's the big thing about it, because not only does it stop their passive damage in like Toxic and things like that, burning it, but also bouncing back their hazards, and also it's strong attack. It's really it's
insanely strong. And again, we talk about dark types just being so good. And one thing I also want to mention is he's got 2 justified users to protect that line.
Yes, exactly.
And that's huge. The Spice are going to grab tier 1 Starmie.
Nice spin support. Beautiful ice resist as well for the team, which I think the team definitely needed. Starmie is just one of those Pokemon that's just always been good, right? It's just good. It's not great, it's good.
It does. It can remove hazards with Rapid Spin better than most Pokemon because of its speed tier. One thing I love about Starmie is Reflect type.
Yes.
That's a really kind of niche move that you might see a few times a season if you're lucky, and it can really make a massive impact.
Can trick too.
Yes, it can trick. One thing I will say is looking at Kay's team, there's a lot of Z move users on it.
Yeah.
Which could be in her benefit or it could hurt her in a way, because things like Mimikyu can run a Life Orb or a Z move, but Starmie I feel like is a mon that really loves that Waterium Z.
Yeah, I agree. And even like Gigavolt Havoc, Sub-Zero Slammer, it can just do it. We see Azelf coming out, so he's picking up a secondary Stealth Rocker, another ground immunity, a Pokemon that probably takes really good advantage of Z moves too. Speaking of Pokemon that are versatile, like Clefable and Azelf are super versatile. You have Calm Mind and Nasty Plot as options. A good Scarf user as well. Can be a Banded user too. Can be dual screens. Dual screen sounds pretty interesting with Thunderous Teeth as well.
I love the Suicide Lead option of Rocks and Explosion. Kind of stop them from moving those hazards, give Thunderous a free switch in, and then potentially really break early game. But a lot of versatility, and it can be really offensive too, with that massive speed tier really helping him kind of bridge that gap above 100. And Nasty Plot is a real thing too. Just being able to set up with his elf, it's a very versatile Pokemon. It can be a lead, it could be kind of a cleaner at the end of the game, it could be a sweeper, it could be Scarf, you can run Trick as you mentioned. A lot of things that it can do. This team is looking scary, man.
I like how he has a Ridiculous and he has one of its best answers, which is a Lowland Box. That's beautiful. I think a Grounded Poison, as I mentioned, is super important because you don't just want to be T-spiked by anybody.
No.
Because I will take advantage of that. But a Lowland Muck gives him Pursuit Trapper. It gives him Priority and Shadow Sneak as well. Another priority option. Curse is an option. Recycle is cool too. Just its ability as well. It's
2 good abilities. Gluttony and Poison Touch.
Exactly.
Being able to hit poison jabs.
And Power of Alchemy.
Yes.
That's very important. We've seen Full Metal Alchemist, so that is very important.
A lot of versatility and only one weakness to ground types. Just so good. And again, we talk about one of Mega Lopunny's primary checks is bulky Psychic types, which cannot touch Muck. And that's incredible. And Reuniclus loves the support from Muck. This is really, really scary. I love this pick.
Speaking of scary Pokemon, bro.
I love this
This is a Pokemon that you do not switch into. It doesn't matter
what dude.
When I can see your team, I can Rock Blast. Oh, you got Tornadus, I'll Rock Blast you. Oh, you got Mega Blast. I'm sorry, I'm calling out your Team Wolf. We'll Bullet Siege you. Obviously, close combat coming off of 505, 515 attack at level 100.
It's insane,
something like
dude.
that.
It's insane.
It's something crazy like that. So I love this Pokemon. I think it gives him a nice resist to grass as well. Next to Heatran as well. And a nice
ground resist for
which is a big
Zeraora
one.
and Heatran.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are going to run Hidden Power, ground for Tran, and that's going to do nothing to grow cross, and you can't run flying because he's got 2 flying checks. I mean,
exactly.
Really good stuff there. And I want to tell a quick story about Heracross. I had Heracross, I think it was against Gator. I ran max HP, max special defense Heracross so I could live a Mega Deontay Moonblast in one shot at back. You don't have to invest in attack.
At all. If you don't invest in attack, at level 100, it has still over 400
It's
attack.
insanely powerful.
So we finally see a pivot, like a bigger pivot for Envy right here, and a steel type as well, which is something that's definitely important in draft. A rock or 2.
Probably the second best low tier steel behind Bronzong, maybe, in terms of tier 4 and below.
It was definitely something I was thinking about, but I wanted the ground immunity too.
It's very, the only thing about steel, red steel, is it can be a little passive at times. Sometimes it has to rely on seismic toss, which can open up setup opportunities, but in most cases, that's not the case because it can run Thunder Wave. It can shut down a sweep really quickly.
It's not like it doesn't have coverage moves. It has, Iron Head. It has
Zap
Shadow
Cannon.
Claw, Zap Cannon. It does have, bro. I was thinking about that too. I'll be real, bro. That's the thing. Yo, you guys are sleeping on Zap Cannon. I see you out there, but it happens, all right? And it has Curse as an option too, which is a pretty big one, as well as Explosion. Yeah. And, like it's a Pokemon. Like a lot of his team will die to super effective hits. That will not.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't because it's so bulky. Its special defense and physical defense so high. The Beware is the reigning champion.
Nice grounded
grabbing
poison.
Gengar, dude.
We see the nice grounded poison trend going on right now.
Yeah.
Gengar is a beautiful Pokemon. One of the best Z move users as well.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
You know, Thunder, all out pummeling.
I love the speed tiers that we're seeing here too. You kind of take a step down from that Tornadus at the 121 and go to Gengar at 110.
Yes.
And you know, it did lose Levitate, which was a big kind of nerf to Gengar, but Cursed Body can come in clutch.
I mean, that's the big thing. And like again, the big thing, it absorbs T-spikes too. So like it losing Levitate, it's only a nerf, but I feel like all Earthquakers beat it anyway. Excadrill was Earthquaking with Mold Breaker. Landers will knock it off or go for a Z move or anything.
Sure.
I don't think Levitate would actually benefit Gengar. I think Curse Body is a lot better. I've seen games lost because Curse Body activate every single time.
Oh yeah, it can be it can really mess people up. We're gonna see the tier 4 Jellicent, another ghost going here. Jellicent in tier 4 is very interesting. It used to be so good because it checked those Keldeos in the higher tiers. So it's kind of a niche pick in tier 4, but it's a bulky water that can spin block, which you gotta love. It can recover itself, and it's got some good coverage too.
Really good.
Giga
Energy
Drain,
Ball, Dazzling Gleam, exactly.
Trick Room.
Trick Room is a big
Love
one
that.
too.
Will-O-Wisp.
Can taunt. I think there's a big thing as well. It will beat a lot of like, for
The
example,
slow
Pokemon like
Pokemon,
Clefable, right? It will beat them.
Toxapex it can beat those Pokemon.
It will beat them.
So very cool there, seeing Jellicent, just a really good bulky kind of water, and pairing with that Fire Water Grass Core, Venusaur, Infernape, and Jellicent kind of pairing together. Very nice combination there, and you know, with Donphan trying to set those hazards, Jellicent kind of blocking them. Now this mon is scary. Tier 1 Blacephalon.
He picks the best switch into Blacephalon ever, and then he picks Blacephalon after.
Yeah.
Mega Tyranitar and then Blacephalon. This is a mon that is such a pain to prep for.
Yeah, it's very scary. The combination of, and I play him week 2, Shadow Ball, Fire Blast, and then you gotta figure out
power coverage or
I
trick
can't
or
let something die because if he gets a beast boost,
yep.
and you can set it up in a way I believe to get a speed boost on the beast boost
yes,
or the special attack boost. So you can run Scarf, Modest.
Sticky Web 2 as well. With
I know, paired with Araquanid, that's so scary.
Really
and again,
tough to switch into teams.
you talked about it gives him a fighting immunity for Tyranitar. This is a very scary combination. Can we evaluate that we're over 100 picks in, and this is how these teams are being formed?
Yeah.
We thought with 28 teams that things were going to be really thin, but these are some incredible teams we're seeing here.
Yeah.
We're going to see Sacred and the Bouffalons grabbing Arcanine in tier 2. I think it was tier 2. No, tier 3. Tier 3 Arcanine.
I think it's definitely
best doggo.
Yeah. One of the I think it's one of the better tier 3 picks as well because of its great abilities, right? You know, you have Flash Fire, so you have that immunity of Intimidate as well. It also has Justified, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. I know it gets Intimidate, obviously, and it can be an offensive threat with things like extreme speed, and it can be physical or special. It's got a good enough speed stat, but it's a very hard defensive Pokemon.
Yes.
One of the few things that can check a Victini. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You can run like a Rocky Helmet and a Morning
yes.
Sun and be one of the few Pokemon, and Vivid mentions Burn Up in the chat, a very unique move that only a few Pokemon get. It's very versatile, and it is one of the few Pokemon that can check various things because of its pure fire typing with such good bulk.
Definitely has like a rock sort of weakness, but like just to tell you about its bulk, it can live a Choice Band Teraki on Stone Edge because of Intimidate. So that's just a big thing.
I'm very happy about this one, guys. This is a mega that I've never used, and I just think to myself about, you know, Pokemon that are fast, Pokemon that aren't gonna have a lot of switch-ins in a massive league. Yeah, Mega Manectric, dude. I was very happy with this. I love the Intimidate. I love the Volt switching for Kyurem, and I just think we talked a lot about fast electric types. Mega Manectric being a tier 2 Mega as well, giving me points for the rest of my draft.
And Intimidate is a big one. Obviously, Mega Manectric, you know what it's going to do, right? It's going to overheat you. It's going to Volt Switch. It's going to Flamethrower. It's going to be maybe as a coverage move. Might even see some Magnet Rise.
It gets Magnet Rise.
Exactly. But that's not even like, that's not even the best. Mega Manectric is a good pivot, period. You're going to get in your Kyurem Black. You're going to get in your Florges, right? I have Kyurem Black specifically doesn't care about the ground types. It's gonna break through. Speaking of Pokemon, they're gonna break through.
We got another snake here.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, this next snake form, Darmanitan. Now, the cool thing about Darmanitan is that he does have 2 Darmanitans. He has Darmanitan and Darmanitan Zen mode, which is obviously, you know, a giant threat. Yeah, that boy. Dude, if they gave Darmanitan Trick Room, that would be a legitimate
Oh my god,
Pokemon.
dude.
But this is a Pokemon that is super hard to switch into.
Belly Drum.
Yeah.
Like, talking about crazy stuff, Belly. But let's talk about what it really does. Sheer Force Life Orb.
Sheer Force Life Orb, Sheer Force Scarf. Sheer Force Life Orb is so powerful, even as a Scarf user. You guys know what Darmanitan does. Basically, it Flare Blitzes you, and that's it. It has good coverage. You turn for Momentum. It has Earthquake. It kind of looks like a snake.
It's a snake.
It's almost a snake.
It's a snake.
But definitely a solid. And one of those mons that's also super annoying to prep for in general.
Yeah, it's a very scary Pokemon, and it can really break through teams. We're gonna
Speaking
see
of
the New York.
breaking through, Buzzwole.
Yeah, we're gonna see the New York Marauders grab Big Buzzwole. We do have an
got the
emote in the chat
Schwall.
for that. Buzzwole so bulky that sometimes flying type moves don't even knock it out.
Yeah.
And it's very scary because of its ability to just set up like bulk ups, just be super bulky. It's a good assault vest user. What do you think about Buzzwole? You probably know a little better than I do.
It's such a great Pokemon. Like, Beast Boost is so good. Its attack stat and defense stat, as you mentioned, is super, super high. Sub Bulk Up can run sets like that. Focus Punch as well can actually be used. Roost. I think another big thing that's pretty cool, it gets Lunge. So if you're trying to beat
attack,
it, you're trying to beat me with a physical attack. It also gets Low Sweep, so it lowers your speed. It gets some good support options on both of its stabs. The elemental punches are really good. And I remember when MV and I were using this in the MBL, obviously that's a doubles draft league, but we were able to make good use of Z moves, and you're going to do the same thing in this too.
Yeah, we're going to see the Tennessee Trubbish and definitely grab regular Gardevoir in tier 3. We talk about a lot of the fairy types have gone at this point.
Yeah.
Regular Gardevoir is a massive threat as just a regular kind of
Trace.
fairy and
Trace
psychic.
is
Yeah,
so good.
Trace is nice. Got a decent enough speed stat. What I found with this thing is it can actually serve as a really good trick Scarfer.
Yes.
Something I really liked about it. And it can break too. You can run Life Orb or Specs and really break some of the slower teams because it just serves as Psychic and Fairy is such a good combination.
I think one of the biggest things I also like about it is that he can play a Celesteela recklessly, pick up some KOs, and then Healing Wish it
Healing Wish it back up.
Exactly.
That's huge. Yeah, Scarf. I ran Scarf, Trick, Healing Wish, Psychic,
Exactly,
Moonblast. Like
exactly.
you don't
need
even
anything
have to.
else.
Yeah, and Calm Mind too. Like that's another option as well. So Gardevoir just a very good Fairy and Psychic type. And again, when in a draft where we've already seen 109 picks go, right? A lot of the fairies have gone. Gardevoir still stands out as being a pretty good fairy. I love this pick for the Sableye.
Grounded Poison, beautiful T-Spike as well. We did talk about earlier how Nidoqueen, I did kind of feel like Nidoqueen was better than Nidoking. But then again, like on a team like this where I don't think you need that bulk because you have Pokemon like Mew and
the grassy terrain to support it.
Exactly.
Really sponging those hits for those poison hits aimed at Bulu.
Yeah.
I think in this case, Bulu sitting at, I believe, 75 base speed. King sitting at 85 actually helps him. Had he gone Queen, you don't have much of a differentiation there with the speed tiers, but King gives him something nicer there. It kind of benefits more from Sucker Punch than Queen can do.
Yeah.
And again, it still has that T-Spike, but it hits harder. It breaks harder. So
a little bit of ice weakness, but Mew kind of is like an all-around check to everything if you're being real.
Correct, yeah. And I just feel like this is a really good fit with Bulu.
Well, I love T-Spikes plus a fast Pokemon like Hawlucha as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Dude, double Intimidate. Incineroar is one of the most fun Pokemon I've ever had in draft. I used it in the P4G. I used it in P4G, and it was just a fantastic Pokemon. I never used it offensively ever because I never felt the need to. Right? It just U-turns out. It knocks off everything. Yep. I can run Protect.
Just run like an AV or like a pivot set every time.
Exactly. Every single time I use berries on it as well. Like, it was just so good because I would even use it to like check Metachan side jump kick and then get off enough damage for like something else in the back. Like, it's such a good Pokemon. I think he has options. Obviously, you can use it offensively if you want to, but I love it as a defensive pivot next to Landorus, especially if you're using offensive Landorus as well.
Yeah, definitely a good mon, and you pretty much touched on everything. I just love the two U-turners,
Yes.
Landorus, Incineroar, to give things like Alakazam a free switch in, and the double Intimidate. So good. Watch out for that Milotic, though. We've got our final pick here in round 4. The Newcastle Nidokings grabbing tier 4 Escavalier.
Yes.
I love this paired with a Gyarados Mega that does not care about fire moves and a Snorlax that doesn't care about fire moves.
Exactly.
Escavalier is a massive threat. It's got an incredible attack stat. Only one weakness. In Trick Room, if he goes Trick Room with Snorlax and Escavalier, that could be a really good option. But it's just an all-around good natural steel
type,
pivot.
Exactly. Does only have one weakness as well, which is that
the fire type. Yep.
We did talk about 2 earlier tier 4s that went. Obviously, my Bronzong, and then you had
the Registeel.
Registeel as well. So definitely picking up a value pick, I think, from tier 4. I think probably one of the better or the best steel type left. Offensively, very scary. Cut Step Barrier is really cool as well with the substitute cut step options. It's really tough to switch into too with Mega Horn, Ironhead, Banded, Drill Run as well for coverage.
Yeah, very, very good stuff there. We finished up our round 4 so far. Some really interesting picks. We saw some handful of Megas, some pretty big curveballs. We saw Mega Pidgeot go for Kyle A, which is a bit of a question mark, kind of trying to understand where he's trying to pair that Pelipper. Some other good stuff though. I think I really love Duncan's Blacephalon and Mega T-Tar.
Blacephalon and Mega Heracross are my 2 favorite picks of this round.
Yeah, definitely some really good stuff, and I think just some great Pokemon. Like I said, we're starting to dive to the later rounds, but there's some really powerful Pokemon still being taken.
Exactly.
So definitely some pretty interesting stuff kind of going into the final round here for today. And again, we're going to jump into round 5 here in a second. It'll be the final round for today. Tomorrow, we're going to continue the other 5 rounds.
I'm sleeping over.
Yeah, he's sleeping over. Don't sleep on the next 5 rounds just because they're later in the draft, because that is where teams are really going to start to get
put
formed.
Together, yeah.
Yeah, and just because we're later in the draft, there's still a lot of great Pokemon that are still available at this point in time. It's going to be pretty wild, so definitely keep an eye out for that. We're going to do our last set of plugs for today, so bear with us for a second. Make sure you guys check out all the information on the WBE website, !WBE in the chat. You can also type !WBE merch in the chat to get access to our merchandise store, and that'll all be in the description below. This will all be on the YouTube channel afterwards, so if you're watching on YouTube, man, hit that like button. We're trying to get the YouTube channel partnered on YouTube so we can actually pay the analysts even more, so be sure to show some love there. Follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff. And one last plug here for today. For Poke Ninja, our Pixelmon servers that are sponsoring the league. This is how we're all able to make it all happen, guys. And again, all this stuff, it took a lot of work, man. There was a ton of people working on these draft slides, and there's been Bill and other designers working on everything. It's just a massive project. So anything you guys can do to support by just simply following us on Twitter and watching the YouTube videos and stuff is massive for us, and it really just helps everyone else out. So you can check out the Pixelmon servers, !Pixelmon in the chat. You've got the Eterna region, the Club region, and the Diamond region. 3 awesome opportunities to start your Pixelmon adventure, and there's a massive 50% off sale right now going on in the store. You can type !store in the chat. I believe will get you to the Pixelmon store, but it is free to play otherwise. You can just buy ranks and crates and things like that, but it is free to play on our Pixelmon servers, and my tutorial !Pixelmon will give you all the details you need to go there. And Poke Ninjas is sponsoring the league for the next 4 months, so you guys will see lots of Pixelmon from us in the future, and we might even run some like WBE themed tournaments and stuff like that on Pixelmon. We'll have some fun with it, but I think without further ado, let's jump into round 5. Patter's gonna kick us off here to start our round 5, and he is gonna grab Terrakion. We were just saying how there's still plenty of power to be taken, and Terrakion gets taken, dude.
Excellent Z-move user. Constant Crush or All Out Pummeling. Perfect. Dual Dance as well. Justified is really nice too. Not that he has a dark weakness at all to really be there. But
dude, Mega Gyarados, Tapu Koko, and Terrakion.
Love his speed tiers, by the way. Every on top, in between.
And he's got the slower stuff, so Trick Room isn't a thing.
Exactly.
Like, that's really well thought out.
Really tough to switch into.
I gotta say, one of the things that I've noticed so far, and you guys will see as we continue, even with 28 teams, these are some really good teams that we're seeing. Some of these teams are really well put together, and I think Patters is doing a great job, really taking advantage of that #1 pick, getting that wheel there. I love the Escavalier Tarak kind of pair, and Terrakion's a very good Pokemon that often gets overlooked. We're gonna see Seismitoad. I love this.
Right here, man.
I love Seismitoad, man.
So much, dude.
We talk about just one weakness to grass types, and we mentioned earlier with Luke, those 4X weaknesses kind of complementing each other. Ferrothorn, Seismitoad, really good example of that.
HP Grass, which one you want to do, or HP Fire?
Yeah.
You have so many.
Oh yeah, Landorus too.
Exactly. Swift Swim is really cool on this Pokemon.
Yep. Poison Touch. I like Poison Touch too.
Poison Touch too. That's 3 good abilities, dude.
Yeah.
And of course, Water Absorb. We can't forget about that. Its ability to use Z moves is really cool. Obviously, I think its biggest drawback is like no spammable Ice Beam. I think that's it. It has Ice Punch.
Icy Wind and Ice Punch.
Yeah.
So, but you can make it work, and it's only
no
one
recovery,
weakness.
of
It
course.
gives it a little bit more bulk than it would otherwise have, and it can set up rocks, which I
Yeah.
love, because then you kind of open the door for Ferrothorn to run spikes,
Exactly.
and maybe not pin your Landorus into a kind of a hazard setter role.
Exactly.
So, just a really good pick in general. We're gonna see that Sableye
Ooh.
grab Galvantula. Vivid seems to be the only one who wants to talk to us. Vivid, tell us about Galvantula.
All right, so I really wanted to sort of like hammer down my fast electric type because a lot of the really good ones had gone, and I thought this was a really good one sort of in the lower tiers. Electric bug, really good offensive stab combination, but also the webs I think are really supportive of Nidoking and
Yeah,
Tapu Bulu
agreed.
because they're those like middling speed tiers. So this was 100% my go-to this round, and I'm really glad it made it to me.
Yeah, definitely a good pick, Vivid. And I think one thing, too, that I love about Galvantula is its ability to not just be a sticky web setter, but also be offensive. We talk about, its special attack isn't that great, but Thunder makes
Yeah,
up
if
for
you're
that.
using moves like Thunder with Compound Ice, like it's really good.
Yeah, and Unnerve is really cool, too. Being able to kind of catch those berry Pokemon off guard on a lead matchup could be really good. Again, we talk about pivots for Celesteela.
Electric types, and we got Rotom.
This is very scary, man. Giving Celesteela a Pokemon that can really give it free pivots, Mega Beedrill, Rotom, nice combination. I love the hazard removal that Rotom kind of provides. Good Z-move user.
Volt turn going on, as you mentioned.
Very good, yeah.
Another mon that I think can also make use of specs as well.
Yes.
Because it's an electric type that doesn't care about ground types. That's
Correct,
it, so you can
and
use
that's really cool. And the Rotom forms are just, in general,
Default,
really good.
yeah.
They're really good. And again, we kind of covered on a lot of the things there, but covering that Celesteela hit, I would say the one thing I noticed, a little bit of a fire weakness.
Yes.
Pretty easy to patch up, though. One pick can change that, but...
Yeah, but a lot of fire types are like Flash Fire as well at the moment, so Gardevoir can pivot into that. Obviously, Gren is not, so definitely a bulky water is something I could see him picking up more, because Gren is not that. This is an offensive mon.
Yeah, definitely some options there. We're going to see the New York Marauders grab Nihilego. I love this mon, dude.
This Pokemon
We talk
so
about
much.
Pokemon. One thing that it really does is that speed tier. 103, just a little smidge above Garchomp.
Beast boost is amazing, dude. Okay, so when Chimbag won the GBA, I was just in awe of all the different Nihilego sets he brought. I think at one point he was thinking about Binding Band Wrap just to get off a little bit of chip or be able to switch out as well after. I know that Foul Play is a
man's
cool
out here
option
in
for Pokemon
2040,
like
dude.
Metagross is an option like for Metagross, and Acid Spray as well, T-Spikes as well as Stealth Rock too. So really big fan of the Nihilego pick. And again, Grounded Poison, I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Nuts actually pairing that with another Beast Boost user, but it's very difficult to switch in. I don't know if you mentioned Trick Room and T-Spikes, but a lot of options there for what Nihilego can do. So pretty interesting Pokemon. We'll see how that goes.
Another beast.
Yeah, another beast.
Another
Ultra Beast
snake.
coming through, and that is a snake, dude, because you snake cables.
Yes, exactly.
So that is a Xurkitree, and in open Z format, man, you can run Z Electric Terrain to boost your speed. You can run Z Hypnosis to
Tail
potentially
Glow
sleep,
as well.
and you can run Z Rain Dance to get 100% accurate thunders and boost your speed. Xurkitree's one downside is its bulk and its speed, and you can remove one of those with a Z move, and if you get a Tail Glow up, nothing switches in, man.
The thing is, it's electric, right? So it has one weakness. You can just
That's
run a
it.
Circuit Barrier as well for that. And
That's it.
Xurkitree, again, it's one of those mons that does not need the special attack investment to have a million special attack. It's actually a shame because you can't even run like a negative special attack nature and 0 IVs and boost your speed after that. That's
so
how strong,
powerful,
That's
yeah.
how strong Xurkitree really is.
It's that strong, and again, you can run Scarf too. Like
Yes,
that's how
exactly.
you want to mitigate that speed stat. You just run Scarf, and then you're expecting something to set up, and it just doesn't. I'm gonna go with Shaman here,
Definitely a
familiar friend here in Tier 3. To me, when I think of Pokemon in Tier 3 and value, we talk a lot about value. I think Shaman in Tier 3 gives a lot of value.
Seed Flare is so spammable, dude.
It's
honestly.
so good. It's so good because you have a 40% chance to drop their opponent's special defense. So you can just click Seed Flare. It can serve as a breaker. But I love its ground typing in this situation. Manetric's only weakness is ground. It's grass typing, being able to sponge those ground type moves. I love that. And I love its electric resistance for Scarm. It's just a really good, well-rounded Pokemon that can do a lot of different things. Leech Seed,
100%.
Subseed, Earth Power, Tailwind, another option as well, and Healing Wish.
Healing
Which
Wish
we were on the
yeah.
same page there.
Yeah.
Healing Wish for Kieran Black is just massive. So
Exactly. Beautiful Pokemon. You definitely drafted Pokemon that are either great to switch into or hard to switch into.
And I like Mr. Darv. Shaman and Florges look like they'd be best friends. They're hanging out in the meadow together. So another grass type goes, and this is how the dominoes fall sometimes. Amoongu's going to go next.
I've used this
And this is
Love
tier
Pokemon.
2. Shaman was tier 3, which is part of my reasoning there. But good
I
Mon
think-
in tier 2.
I think Amoonguss is a good mon in tier 2, but I think it might even be a little bit expensive for that tier.
But it can do something that a lot of Mons can't do, and that's Spore.
And Regenerator as well.
Yeah, very
obviously.
good.
Again, we were talking about Grounded Poison. I mentioned that every single time I see Grounded Poison. But Rocky Helmet is so good on this item. It's so bulky because
so
of
good.
its HP. Because of its HP, it's so
I love
bulky.
that Firewater Grass, though.
Yes.
Finny, Amoonguss, Arcanine, and then you throw the super blistering fast
Yes.
Aerodactyl in there. I love that. Very good. That is a good point someone brings up, though. Spore and Misty Terrain, a little bit kind of but Assault Vest Amoonguss is such a good set that it's really not an issue, right?
I've even seen offensive sub Amoonguss recently in a draft league that I'm participating in, and it's actually like been able to beat like Pokemon like Scizor.
Yeah,
Tornadus,
I love it. I love it. And I love Clear Smog on
Exactly.
it, too.
Omni boosting is not allowed. I just wanted to say that again because I see some people asking. So Z Celebrate, Z Helping Hand, all that stuff. Helping Hand, Hold Hands is not allowed. Now we do see a spinner.
Yeah, a nice little rapid spinner here. When you have a Mon like Blacephalon, you really want to protect
Yeah,
that.
Arachnid as well. This is his first form of hazard control.
Yeah.
Gives him a better rock resist as well.
Very good rock resist, which is very nice for Blacephalon, and you know, Intimidate is so good, and Technician on this thing, Priority is really nice. There's a lot of things that Hitmontop can do. It's not insanely good at anything in particular, but it can be a really good like pivot, just like a defensive
It's
pivot.
annoying, like you mentioned. Technician is so annoying.
Bullet Punch.
Fake out, Bullet Punch, Mock Punch, Sucker Punch. Just stop. Like stop hitting me.
It can do
bro.
a lot
Like,
of things, yeah.
Give me a chance. Like, you're doing 20%, but I'm still annoyed at the fact that you're doing 20% every turn.
Crazy to see round 5 Scissor
Scizor.
go. Wow.
Pick 122. That's the big thing.
Isn't that insane? 122 picks, guys. A lot of drafts are almost over at this point.
Yeah.
Scissor goes in round 5, pick 122. I actually love this, man. You have a Jellicent, which doesn't care about fire moves. You have a Donphan, which wrecks fire types. You have an Infernape, which doesn't care, and a Venusaur that's neutral. You give pivot options to an Infernape. Nice U-turn core.
A beautiful steel type, and you have some good fire type options, fire resist options as well. Mega Venusaur. You have obviously Infernape, and the big one is Jellicent.
Jellicent.
That's
That's
the
so
big one that
massive,
comes to
so
mind.
massive. And
I think Scizor. I think a lot of people don't realize just how strong Scissor's Bullet Punch
it's
really
strong.
is.
If you put it with a band or with a Life Orb, it's stronger than Mega Scissor.
Yes.
Which is pretty crazy, and it can do a lot of the things that Mega Scissor can do. A little bit less bulk, a little bit less offensive power, but you can give it a metal coat or something to boost that attack stat.
Nice
Man,
resist.
Wolf is gonna rock with the Mandibuzz here.
I think he wants to jump in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and
Wolf,
talk
are you
about-
here? I don't know if Wolf's here. He's not ready yet. We'll see if he jumps in ASAP. If not, we'll try to grab a lot of the coaches tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get some of the coaches on. But he said, "Yeah, I'll come on," but he is not prepared. So we're gonna wait for Wolf and hope. But either way, Mandibuzz, really really bulky Pokemon. There's Wolf. Wolf, tell us about Mandibuzz really quick.
Bzzz.
Is that it?
That
was it. That was all he had. That was all he had.
It gives him a dark resist. That's the big thing. A defogger. It can even be offensive. And
He really just came on and buzzed, dude. He really just did that. He really came on and buzzed.
when you're the two-time champion, bro, you don't
have to do anything. You don't have time for nothing. You're the VDC
have
World Champion, WBE Champion. Should we just give him the belt now? No.
No, I'm taking it
No,
home.
we're taking it. We got this. Oh, God, dude. 124 picks in, and we have a
Dude.
Azumarill? Dude, you can
Dude.
run Normalium Z Belly Drum,
Yes,
man.
I think that's such a big one because it's so easy. Like as long
How
as
do you
Ozzy
switch
can
into
make one
Victini
hit.
Azumarill Sceptile?
Exactly. That's a big one about MV's team. It's really, really, really tough to switch into. I think that it lacks a lot of pivots besides, Registeel obviously, but it's so hard. Like he's gonna be taking Pokemon when you're trying to like bring out something like that. That's it. He's every single time a Pokemon comes out, it's gonna take another Pokemon from you.
Such a good
Sapsip
cleaner.
is really cool too.
So Sap Sipper. You can run some really cool sets with Whirlpool, but such a good cleaner for like the Victinis of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like you can just run Bandit Aqua Jet.
You have to keep in mind while you're battling him that, okay, I have to keep this healthy to take a V-Create, but I have to keep this above like 80% to live a plus 6.
That's going to be so difficult to deal with. That's a very scary pairing. We're going to see a Celebi here. Nice little pairing for that Heatran.
Fire, Water, Grass.
Yeah, he's got that
running
Fire,
out.
Water, Grass. I love Celebi and its ability to U-turn. It can also set up and pass.
Nasty Plot Pass.
Agility
Swords Dance
Pass, yeah.
Calm Mind Pass. So, Celebi is a fantastic Pokemon in that regard. Obviously, it does have a bunch of weaknesses, we do know, but he does have
A lot of
bug.
weaknesses.
He does have the bug, the fire, the flying, the ice covered, right? So, he has, as well as the dark. So, like, he has a lot of Celebi's weaknesses. Even the poison. Well, I'm sorry that I keep naming them. It's just
No,
to keep
you're
coming
good.
to mind as I'm doing that. But, a great Pokemon. Obviously, that weakness is big, but I'm a huge fan of base 100 Pokemon all around, like Jirachi, Manaphy,
Yep.
obviously
Victini, Shaman, yep.
and Celebi. So I
Those
think
mythicals, they're very good, and
Yeah.
they're versatile. Celebi's very versatile,
Exactly.
and it gets Stealth Rock. which you gotta love a team
Second
that.
Stealth Rock user as well.
Yeah, you
Thunderwave
don't want to
support too.
just pin the Heatran into it. So
Speaking of Stealth Rock,
yeah, we got
Finally
our
got-
first tier 5 actually going is going to be Steelix.
he uses Steelix a lot too. I know
It's a
Leo
good
loves
mon in
Steelix.
tier 5, dude. It's a very good mon in tier 5. It's got sturdy, so you're guaranteed to get those rocks up. It's very physically bulky. It's very difficult to take down, and I
Yes.
think he's got the right supports for it with something like a Manaphy to kind of sponge those hits,
Yes.
that water type attacks, and those fire type moves, and it's just a really good Pokemon. And you know, Hollow in the chat brings it up, but Sheer Force can make this thing pretty offensive as well.
I recently fought a Sheer Force Nature Power Steelix, which was there for my Halucha because I had Tapu Koko plus Halucha, so allowed it to the Thunderbolt.
Oh wow.
So that was a pretty cool option as well. Sheer Force is really cool because it lets it beat a lot of the defoggers, which I think is really nice.
Yep. And it gets the Fangs, which is really good. It can really kind of catch some things off guard and
Exactly.
beat other steel types like Fire Fang and Earthquake if you know, stuff like that. So we're going to see Mega Chomp go.
Ooh.
Wow, very powerful Mega Garchomp here for the Milwaukee Sawsbucks. Pairing that nicely with Clefable. Gives them something at, it starts at 102, but obviously after a Mega is going to drop down in the
And it
92.
has the Mega as long as it stays in,
Correct.
so that's
But
pretty
this thing is very difficult to switch into, and it's got such good
Bulk,
bulk
yeah.
that it can live those hidden power ices that
Easily,
you know people try to
easily,
attack for
easily.
it.
You don't
And
even need HP investment. It will actually live it itself.
It's so bulky. And I'm curious because its ability Sand Force, if you give this thing sand, it's scary.
Well,
And
I
there's
think it's
still
hard.
some sand setters. You're going to have to find out tomorrow whether he grabs a sand setter, so
Yeah.
come back tomorrow. But that's going to be pretty nuts to see whether he pairs that with like a Gigalith or a Hippowdon or something like that. To give it sand because it's so good, you know, pairing that two together because then it just gets that massive buff to its steel, ground,
Exactly,
and rock type
exactly,
moves,
exactly.
which makes it very good. We're gonna see the
Crobat,
spice.
ooh.
Talk about the cutest of Pokemon. We got Crobat here.
Okay, this I actually had to add her in the chat when she was getting this. I was like, "How is this cute? Explain this to me real quick."
When it's shiny, it's pink.
Okay.
I love Crobat.
Oh,
It's one of my
yeah.
favorite mons, dude. One of my favorite mons in general and in Draft League.
Yes.
Bird spam, dude. And
Beautiful,
it is not a
beautiful mon.
bird, but it can brave bird spam.
Gives
and
her a secondary hazard controller as well.
Oh, yeah.
Infinite poison as well. Like a toxic doesn't miss.
Yes.
Right, with this Pokemon, Super Fang, defog support. I already talked about that.
I love the
Tailwind
speed
support as
tiers,
well.
dude.
Yes.
130, 115,
Beautiful
102,
speed tiers.
96.
Love it,
That's
love her speed tier.
oh,
And-
that's crisp.
And you go all the way down. Go all the way down as well.
That's so crisp. I love that. Crobat, I can't speak enough to it. Its resistances, man. Fighting, bug, poison. It got ground immunity.
Yep.
It's got so many resistances, and that could just be so beneficial in team
Nasty
building.
Claw is
and-
an option as well.
Oh,
Nasty
dude,
Claw was-
special bat is a thing.
Sniped again by Mo.
Another fast Pokemon for the heated Mo grabbing Whimsicott. Is that Eldegoss or?
It's almost.
Wait, he drafted an Eldegoss, dude.
They're cousins, but I absolutely love this Pokemon.
Bro, they're
okay?
brothers.
This, brother and sister, probably. Yeah, actually, yeah. This is such a great Pokemon, right? Not only do you have Priority Memento, Priority
Ah, dude,
Defog,
Memento.
Infiltrator is great with specs as well, or even just
You
disrupting.
don't even have to
tools
invest in
general.
its speed.
Yeah.
You
No.
could just run like Specs, dude.
Momentum's
I
so
lost to a
good.
Specs Whimsicott once because it just sits there and just clicks things like
That
Moonblast.
Exactly. Moonblast is a broken move. We already
Shadow
talked
Ball.
about
It's
that.
its special attack is low,
Tailwind
but
support too, dude.
Ugh.
Encore. It's such a great Pokemon. It's a great fairy type, giving him a nice.
yeah, it's
dragon
very
immunity
good. It's very
on
good.
the
It's
team.
it's a little frail, but you can make up for that with its EVs. And you know, I love this team. It's really fast. I just hope that he,
I've
you
never
know,
used that Pokemon and been disappointed.
it's
Like,
very good.
even if it's at 1 HP, it'll do what I
It's
need
not
to
going
do.
to lead the league in kills, but it'll help something else.
Yeah, it's support
lead the
the
league
role,
in kills.
exactly.
Yeah, we're going to see Heliolisk come off next year
Ooh.
in Rain. Very cool. That's going to give it
100%
100% Thunders. It
yeah.
already has. I
Boosted
love its
Surf.
abilities.
Yeah.
We talk about Dry Skin giving it a water immunity. We talk about Sandveil giving it that potential to dodge attacks. And it has
Solar
one more.
power.
Solar power. So if you pair this with Sun, you're going to get a massive boot. I mean,
Boost.
it's
Oh,
so
yeah, bro. I
powerful.
had an entire showdown live where we called it Breakneck Blitz because Breaknecks because all it did was breaknecks. We actually got a lot of fan art, which is really cool. But
Yeah.
using its attack in Sun and even
A
using it in
U-turner.
rain.
It can U-turn too.
Electric resist as well, which is
Yes.
pretty cool for that. You already have immunity and Needle Queen, but you're boosting potential, hidden power waters or whatever. that they might be running.
Oh yeah,
But
good
Heliolisk
move
is
pool
like that.
too. I love Flygon. I'm a big Flygon
Defogger,
fan
yep.
in tier 3. I love the Levitate, gives it a ground immunity. I love the fact that it can Dragon Dance, but it can also run special sets
Exactly,
too and just
exactly.
be a good Scarfer.
Open Z is so good for Flygon as well because
Yeah.
Flygon isn't that
It
strong.
needs that
right?
power. It needs that power.
It's not that strong, but you can make it strong. You
Yeah,
can make it
it
straight.
could definitely put in the work. I'm a big Flygon fan. I think it's just a really good, well-rounded
Yeah.
Pokemon. One thing I will say is their speed tiers are a little interesting right now. You got 3 Mons sitting at 100.
100, and then
And
you
then you
have,
got-
like, just above that.
Yeah, so that's a little tricky
And
to
then
work
even
with.
Meloetta is like 306.
90,
like,
yeah, so
it's like that.
we'll see what Feint does with that. And, we harp on these concepts, these speed tiers and these cores, because they're very important in Draft League. you may not notice it necessarily on paper, but when you're prepping, you can say, okay, well, this guy doesn't have this speed tier, so I can easily run Modest. And that could be the difference of a game in terms of the damage output. So, speed tiers, man. 125 Weavile, dude. This thing is powerful.
Such a great
This
Pokemon.
thing, I'll never forget, GBA Season 4, I think it was. Weavile was the MVP. It led the league in kills, and there's a reason why. Dark knockoff stab is very difficult to switch into.
Ice is such a great offensive typing as well.
It's one of the best.
Especially when paired with Dark next to it. It becomes even better. Great speed tier. Weavile's a Pokemon that it's sort of one-dimensional, right? But it doesn't matter. It's good. It will do what it does.
Z moves really help it too.
Exactly.
When you compare it with like Z Focus Punch,
Yeah,
or Z Low Kick, or Poison
there,
Jab.
There are some like I guess cool things you can run. I remember when I ran like a focus / counter set as well. I think versus you maybe.
I remember. I definitely have
you
faced
had a
Mega
Metagross. That doesn't even count. You know that's at that point.
But it's very good, man. Weavile and its priority ice shard is very beneficial. So very cool there. We're gonna see the coaches grabbing Shandy. Chandelure, known for its massive special attack stat and its immunity to fire, often seen paired with like Scissor and stuff. But in this situation, it's pretty unique. So Chandelure can Trick Room, which I think is really cool, but it also can serve as a Scarfer. It can be Specs. It can run Trick to trick something else. It can Spin Block. Very interesting pickup.
I feel like he picked it just because of the fire resistance. That was a big one because honestly, Hoopa can do like nasty plot sets or anything like that if it needs to under Aurora Veil. So I definitely think the fire resistance is something he was looking at. But I definitely also think he needs to start picking up something for like a rock resist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's definitely something scary.
For sure. Can we also throw back to Chandelure when I had Shadow Tag?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I used it in Dream World. I got laddered back in the day.
Oh my goodness, that's pretty funny. So that's pretty nice there for Chandelure. We're gonna see. Dude, this is one of my favorite mons, man. I go back to my NPA championship that I won, and I made a transaction a few. Yeah, I got the poster up there. You see it? I go back to a transaction I made a few weeks in where I dropped. I think it was actually Minior, and I grabbed Goodra. It wasn't drafted. This thing was the key to winning. I actually never lost a game when I brought Goodra. It's so bulky. Assault Vest every week is all you have to run.
You can even run Specs.
Power Whip is a thing, dude. It's got Sap Sipper. It's got
Hydration
Gooey.
as well. Great ability.
Very good mon. Very good mon.
Super versatile. I love it for his team as well. It's just one of those mons. Like look at the fire resist. Like
it's very good. Yeah, Goodra is such a just a really good defensive pivot that can deal some massive damage back, and you don't. Its special attack is so good, or special defense is so good, you can invest elsewhere to really make up for that. We're gonna see the Noibats grabbing Chestnut in tier 3.
This is the round where like people are really starting to pick up them grass types if they're missing it out, or the dragons. Chestnut was something that was definitely on my list. Shaman was on my list as well. Whimsicott was on my list. So I'm just watching these Pokemon get taken. Yeah. I'm just sitting here with my 29 picks. But Chestnut, Spikes, Belly Drum option.
Spiky Shield is really cool.
Exactly. Leech Seed. Love Chestnut. Dude, he is legitimately building a UU team. I'm telling you that right now. He's building a UU team, and it is putting in work. Okay?
It's a good mon. It's definitely a good mon, and I think that Spike support is really going to benefit things like the Thundurus, the Hydreigon, and the Sylveon. And Leech Seed support is just so good as well. So you've also got some really good flying checks there with the Thundurus and the Steelix. So some pretty good stuff. Chestnut's a mon that I haven't really used too extensively, but you always have to think about it in prep for sure. Because it's so bulky. It can be really difficult to take out.
One battle that comes to mind, and not to like put you on the spot.
Belly Drum Saligberry. I remember that one. I got swept by a Chestnut. This team has been probably one of my favorites so far, and he's going to add Delmise to the equation. Another
grass type I wanted.
Tier 3 Delmise, 3 stabs, basically because of its ability, Steel Worker, getting Steel type, and a trapping move too, something that you don't see too much. Decidueye.
So good. Rapid Spin
so
as well,
good, yeah. It can remove those hazards.
His 3 stabs. 3 stabs is incredible on this. And has just great coverage, too. Knockoff Earthquake. Like, it's really good. It is a fantastic Pokemon. I think Synthesis as well for reliable recovery, too. So, I'm really... It also has access to, like, Swords Dance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a spin blocker, too. Some people in the chat are mentioning. But very good there.
Choice Band, Delmise is really
it's a great band. You expect it to be, like, more defensive, and then it just Choice Bands.
Heavy Slam and Anchor Shot are both fantastic.
Super good. And we're actually going to see kind of its counterpart.
We didn't want these.
Go right next to each other.
Types? Who needs
grass and Ghost. Is Trevenant next, you think? We're going to see... We're going to see Decidueye next. Decidueye is really cool because it does a lot of the things that Delmise does. It can defog and remove those hazards that way. but it can U-turn.
U-turn's the big one.
And one
Roost
thing...
is way more reliable recovery, by the way, than Synthesis.
That's
more PP
true.
as well.
And one thing I want to mention about the Decidueye that I love is its ability to set up.
Yes.
It can run Sucker Punch and Swords Dance. I
Shadow
believe it gets
Sneak,
Nasty Plot as
Nasty
well.
Plot as well. Can Baton
And
Pass
Baton
too,
Pass.
which is a big one. So
there's a lot of options there in terms of what it can do.
Really love John's team. I could see him definitely like.
It's difficult to switch into, and it gets the Z move. It can
Exactly,
run the
Spirit
arrow.
Thousand Arrows,
Sinister Arrow Raid.
Sinister are there.
It's gonna take me a minute to get there.
Yeah.
Sinister Arrow Raid. Oh, look at this
so
one.
Obviously,
No Trevenant.
I had to pick up, the best grass type right there, Piloswine. Wait, this Piloswine has the right Piloswine spell. Mine didn't have. Okay. Anyway, I wanted Piloswine because I thought that in Tier 5 it was the best pick. At all. In Tier 5 and like in Tier 5 when I'm looking at.
It's so bulky.
Exactly. I think it's better than Mamoswine in that regard. Obviously with the Eviolite, really tough to take down.
Thick fat.
Ice Shard priority as well. And like when I was looking at Tier 5, I want to be really quick, but Stunfisk, Palossand, Steelix, and Piloswine came to mind. I think that Piloswine is #1 out of all those.
Yeah,
right?
I like Stunfisk too, but Piloswine's very good. That
Easily
thick fat
#1,
really
yeah.
helps.
So I definitely wanted this Pokemon for that regard. Still strong, base 100 attack, which is really good. And yeah, I definitely don't have enough rockers with 3 right here. All right.
What I've learned is you can never have too many, dude.
For sure,
You
because
really
now
can't.
I'm not limited to what I want to bring.
Correct, yeah. Because a lot of times, like in prep, if you only have 1 or 2 stealth rockers and you want rocks, you have to bring that mon,
Yes.
and you have to take up a move slot for it. We're going to see the Pyratitas, who have this beautiful Firewater Grass Core with Char, Wash, and Roserade, grabbing Klefki.
Ooh, nice more spikes and a
This is
fairy
a good
type.
mon. I love Klefki. I feel like, kind of like looking at Whimsicott, those team support Pokemon's never going to lead the league in kills, but
Yes.
it could help something else
Exactly.
do that.
Dual screens, you got Thunder Wave as well.
Dual
as you
screens with a
mentioned.
Charizard, though? I mean, that's very
His
scary.
team is good. His team is good. Period. His team is
That's
good.
very
Like,
good. Yeah. And
This is a nice balanced squad, I think.
yeah, and we talk about the Firewater Grass, but he just did his Dragon Fairy Steel in one pick right there with the Char, and Klefki could just do a lot of things with Prankster, and I love the Magnet Rise on it. Is very cool as well. And it hits pretty hard too.
Dark Resist too, I think is pretty important as well.
You could run Play Rough, D-Gleam. You could do a couple different things,
Yep.
but I think you take the potential of running screens and stuff is very scary with the Charizard. But our final pick for today in round 5 is going to be Conkeldurr in Tier 1. Man, what do you think about that?
Speaking of great abilities, 3 absolutely fantastic.
Sheer
abilities.
Force, Iron Fist,
And
and
Guts,
Guts, dude.
exactly. Guts, Flame Orb, and the Burn Nerf as well this generation, boosting all Guts type Pokemon.
Facade,
Priority
Mach Punch,
as well,
so
Drain
scary.
Punch, Elemental Punches. I love Aaron's team because it's really tough to switch into.
Those are some big
Mamoswine,
threats.
Kartana, Conkeldurr, super tough to switch into.
There's some massive threats right there that we're looking at. This is our round 5 recap, guys. We got some amazing picks here as the teams start to solidify. I love the Terrakion to kick things off. That was amazing. I think MV's team pairing Azumarill, Mega Sceptile, and Victini.
Definitely hard to switch into.
That's gonna be
sure.
tough to switch into, man.
Very tough.
That's going to be very difficult to switch into. I love the Crobat. I'm a big fan of that. I'm surprised to see Crobat go 140 picks in or whatever. That's pretty nuts.
And when you gotta wait 50 turns, and you
that's
see something
crazy.
Snipe, you don't know.
That's some crazy stuff right there. These are your round 5 picks, guys. Guys, do me a favor. Go check out the WBE website right now. Mark it as a bookmark for you guys. The season's going to be 3 or 4 months long. Bookmark it. You want to go check it out. It's got the standings. It's got the teams. They're all updated. You can go look at all the teams right now, the Pokemon that they have, everything like that. You can see the free agents. You can see the matchups. You can see the schedules. You can see the Pokemon kills and
Subscribe
deaths.
to the channel as well, guys.
Everything,
We're gonna have
man.
a lot of content coming out there too, and obviously you guys can check out all the coaches too because there will be battles starting as early as next week. Tomorrow we'll be back, of course, with the next 5 rounds, but also we'll be putting up our team draft breakdowns,
Yeah,
right?
everyone's going to be doing their draft breakdowns tomorrow on everyone's respective channels.
Yes.
And the WBE YouTube channel is kicking off as well. We're going to be uploading the draft stream. We've got a lot of stuff coming out. Give me till tomorrow to get that up because we're going to actually do Community Day. So on a separate note, before we wrap up for WBE today, Joey and I are actually about to go do Slack Off Community Day right here on twitch.tv/aDrive. So we're going to end the stream, but you guys are welcome to stick around, hang in there for half hour, and we'll be back actually walking around in real life doing Pokemon Go. Yeah, if you've never seen my Go streams, I put a lot of time and effort to them, and we're going to be playing Pokemon Go together, going for Slack Off.
I get to see the giant backpack.
It's going to be sick. We're going to have fun. But to wrap things up for WBE, guys, please go check out the WBE YouTube channel. WBE gives you the website. You can see the YouTube and the Twitter links there. The merch store is now officially open. WBE merch. And I just want to give a big shout out to everyone for coming to the stream today. Big shout out to my man Joey for driving up here and hanging out with us. And we're going to be rocking the next part of the draft tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern time. When this video goes live, please watch it. Just put it on in the background, watch it, because I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. We have to get the watch time for the channel to get partnered.
Yeah.
And once the channel's partnered, we can pay the analysts more. And
$4,000.
again, I'm not taking any money. He's not taking any money. It's legitimately about just trying to help those analysts out because they're putting in the time. We want to make sure that everyone gets rewarded,
Sure.
so we can grow this league even more and we can do even more and stuff like that. And like our last plug is gonna be our sponsor, PokeaimNinja. Thank you to the PokeaimNinja's Pixelmon server for sponsoring our league this season. They're the ones holding it down, making sure that we can pay our analysts right now because we can't even monetize the channel yet. So we're working on all that. But shouts to that. Thank you to the PokeaimNinja servers. You can check that out. !Pixelmon in the chat for tutorial. It's free to play in the servers. You can play in the Eternal region, the club, or the Diamond region. And we're going to have a lot of awesome stuff there. I'm going to spam the YouTube channel link in the chat in a second, guys, for you guys. And you guys can go check that out. And if you guys can go subscribe on YouTube, that would be incredible. But again, we will be back in a little bit if Pokemon Go fixes their weather system. We'll be back for Slack Off Community Day in about an hour. So big shout outs to everyone who came out to the stream. We'll have this up on YouTube.
The subs and cheers. We saw
yes,
that. We just
yeah, thank you guys. We wanted to focus on the stream,
yeah,
but
thank you so much.
you know, thank you to everyone who supported my personal channel. I stream Pokemon every day here, so you guys can drop a follow if you guys are new, and you can check out my man Joey here as well. All the information's on the website though. I can't stress enough that the website, like we have stepped up so much from not even having a Google Doc to having a full-blown website that you guys can view everything anytime. You don't have to ask about schedules. Everything's there. It's all awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any constructive feedback for tomorrow's stream, let us know, as we are obviously live. This is a live draft stream.
Yeah.
But we'll be back at 11 o'clock tomorrow, my man Joey and I. And thank you guys for watching. Any final words?
Thank you so much, guys, for having me on twitch.tv/aDrive. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you guys later and tomorrow as well. So that's all I got.
That's it, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock sharp. Again, if you guys want to hang out here in the stream, we'll be live for Community Day in about an hour. We're going to go grab some food, hop on for Community Day, and we'll see you guys for some Pokemon Go Slack Off action in a little bit. We'll see you guys there. Peace.